Nice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for being here today. Today's going to be a little bit of a different stream. We're going to be watching the 6 Berlin Major. The last day is today. The last 2 games for Wolves. There's so many possible results of today that I don't even know where to begin. Golden Slide, or Golden Clyde. I don't know why my brain said slide. Thank you for the 46 months. Appreciate it. I've just been... I'm trying to figure out all the possible scenarios for what could happen. Okay, but this extension is either on or off and I hate it. What is that? I want to fix my dark mode extension because this one for some reason is weird. More tools, extensions, there we go. Yeah, I don't like this one because it's either on or off, and I like being able to put it on like specific websites. Let's see. How do I find new extensions?
Nice.
They're like a store or something. What's up, Nimbus? Thank you for gifting a sub already. Extensions. Oh, open Chrome web store. Okay. Dark Reader. There we go. That's the one I like. I really like using dark mode for everything except for Google Docs because it makes the colors really weird. It has this like weird brown color that I hate. Sorry, one second. There's just a lot of like I said, there's a lot of different possible things
Nice.
that can happen today. So it's very complicated. Okay, wait. So it's dark mode is on. Okay, but you're not in my... What the fuck is this? Reading list? Get out of here. Okay, dark reader. There we go. What the fuck is going on? What is happening? You're doing something weird and I hate it. What is happening? I don't understand. Okay, dark reader turned off for this page. So why does it still look terrible? Why does it still look weird? What the fuck? What is going on? Oh, why can't computers just work? I don't... It's literally, I turned it off and it is still on and I don't know how to disable it now. So cool. Very cool. Very sick. Love it. Okay, I had to restart Chrome for it to work. Great. So Wolves have 2 games today. I'm gonna talk this out very slowly because my brain needs to... I need to understand what things need to happen. Okay. So Wolves have 2 games. They need to play... They're gonna play W7M first, and then they play Oxygen. Oxygen currently have 4 points and a negative 10 RD, right? So they're here. Wolves are currently at 7 points with a +2 round difference. What? Why did you change the formatting? That is not 14 point. What the fuck? Hello? Okay. So, if Wolves get 1 point, so OXG max can get 7 points today. If Wolves can get 1 point off of W7M, so even if they lose in overtime, that puts them at 8 points, which means that OXG cannot catch up. So they qualify no matter what, if they can get 1 point from W7M. Well, OXG has to win against Wolves, and they already lost once, so... Okay, so... I'm just trying to think about how to format this so that it makes sense to me. Okay, so let's say scenario 1. Wolves. Okay, well, Wolves, if they beat W7M in regulation, then they qualify because they'll have 10 points and OXG cannot catch up. If they beat W7M in overtime, or if they lose in overtime, all of these situations, they qualify, right? Because they get 7, they'll have at least 8 points. The complicated part comes in if they don't get one point off of W7M, right? Because then OXG could potentially tie them. So it's any of these things, or it's the same thing with OXG. The really complicated, it's just going to be if they lose the game. If they beat OXG in overtime, or even if they lose in overtime, they can still qualify.
Nice.
Because they'll either have 10 points, 9 points, or 8 points here. And the same here. And OXG, like I said, they can only get a max of 7 because they lost to GG this morning in overtime. Yeah, then it's going to depend on the round differential, right? So if Wolves lose both games in regulation, then it comes down to the round differential, which is this thing that I was trying to do before. Let's just fix this. Because OXG can get a max of 7 if they 7-0 Wolves. So they would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can get a max of 0 round differential, right? If they 7-0 Wolves, they have to 7-0. Oops. I'm gonna choose different colors. No, this is Anne Note or Anne Stonks, whichever one you want to use. The issue then becomes yeah, it's just really complicated because it's the round differential. I know, we need like an Excel spreadsheet. Because if they lose to W7M, let's say they get 0-7, right? Then they're negative 7 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they would be negative 5. I think it's like they only... they just need to win some rounds. I know this is the hard part. That's what I'm saying. The round differential is where it screws you. Because if they lose 0-7 to W7M, which I don't think will happen, but if they did, right? And then if they lost again to OXG 0-7, right? I mean, none of that would really matter, I guess. Because then if they get here's scenario 1 with the round differential, right? If they lose 0-7 to W7M, they'll be at -5. Meanwhile, OXG is still at -10, which means they could only lose to OXG 1, 2, 3, 4. They can only lose 4 rounds, right? Basically. Am I doing that the right way? Or no, a +4 for OXG, which would mean a 7-3. Right? But that's only if they don't take any rounds off of W7M. Because let's say, for example, the last score they had against W7M was 7-4, right? So if they do that again, they would be -3. So 1, 2, 3. And then they basically just need to win like 2 rounds against OXG. So even if they lost in overtime, if they win like 2 rounds, they still will qualify. It's like it's possible, but it's very the possibility of that happening is very narrow, but it's not impossible, which is why I still have anxiety. You know? Does that make sense? Am I thinking that I think I'm doing that the right way. Ideally, they just at least take W7M to overtime, and then the second game, they still want to win, obviously, but it's less relevant. Then they just qualify by taking 1 point off of W7M. The issue being that W7M has won all 5 of their previous games in regulation. Not a single team in this group has taken them to overtime. So that's the difficulty there. Yemen beating Oxygen did them a favor. Yeah, because then they would have to beat OXG and get a point from W7M. Or they just have to work really hard in these next 2 games. We basically just need them to win like some rounds so that OXG can't catch up no matter what. Because if they get like I said, if they get the issue being that if they get like swept by W7M, their 2 drops down to a -5, and then in their next game they would have to win, or they'd have to like at least win 1. No, that would just be way harder. Yeah, they would have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They would have to like 7-2 OXG in that scenario, right? That's only if they get completely swept. But see, it becomes like this would be a 7-0, right? Or I guess 0-7 for W7M winning. And then this would be 1-7 and 2-7 and 3-7. It's just, I was explaining it to my sister this morning, and I was like, this is super complicated, and I understand why people can't follow, because like it's just, 6-6 wouldn't, that would be 7-8, I guess, would be -1. 6-8 would also be this. Oh, sorry. So these are all the like results from the W7M game, right? Because right now they're at 2. So if they lose by 1 round, they only go down to a +1 round differential. If they lose 6-8 or 5-7, it drops here, and so on and so forth. Until the minimum possible that they could be at, if they lose to W7M, is 0-7. And then OXG, it would be the opposite, right? Oops. +2 for them. If OXG loses Is that right? Am I doing math? Brawler, thanks for the 41. Current diff is +12. What? I don't know where you get +12 from. No one has +12. Okay, so they can't get 0 points. They can only get... So I did this part wrong. Oh yeah, because they're not going to be +7 in the game. The max... No, I am doing that right. I'm just... my brain. Okay, so their max possible is actually -3 then. Well, it's not between OXG and Wolves, it's between the team and the rest of the group and their results from all the other games. So, if Wolves have any of these scenarios, then I think they're in the clear. I think that's the crux of the matter, right? If any of these score lines happen, right? Yeah, you guys write 1s really weird and 4s in France, and it's been a point of contention between Fromage and I, because the way you write 1s look like 7s, and the 4s look weird. I don't know, it's a weird way of writing a 4. I'll show you, actually, wait, here. Okay, so in the US, most people, I would say, probably, write a 1 like this, or like that. And in France, they write it like that, which, to me, is a 7. But it's like that, right? And then most people in the US probably write a 4 like this, or like with the top, I don't know, maybe. But Fromage writes it like that, and it like ends up weird. She like, I think she does like that, but if you write it fast, then it ends up looking just... There's another part to the 7? No. Well, I mean, some people write it like that, yeah, but like, my point is that if you write your 1 like this, then it's like, it looks like a 7. Yeah, but you write your 1 like a 7 already. And why are you writing S instead of 4? People don't make any sense. Okay, anyways. So I think if W7M, or if Wolves have at least a 3-7 scoreline. Okay. If they win at least 3 rounds versus W7M, they'll qualify just based on the round differential, because OXG... I think I'm doing this right, but I'm not 100% certain, to be honest. I hope it doesn't come down to this, because it was confusing. I hope they just get, you know, just beat W7M, okay? Or just at least take them to overtime. That's all you need. And then you qualify for the rest of the tournament. And then if they are in this scenario, then they have to get like at least 3 rounds. That's the other thing, because it's like, oh. Oops. Then they need it. They need at least 3 rounds. Versus OXG. Right? I think. I don't know. I just work here. Does the timer say 74? This font looks really cool in all their posters, but it is impossible to read where they put it in like the tiny. They have a lot going on here that it looks really cool in general, but I take exception with the sheer number of fonts that they chose to use. Where it's like we've got 1, 2. I don't know if this is the same font. I don't think it is. 3, 4, 5. I think this is the same as this one. It's just smaller. This one might be the same as that one, but it's hard to tell. I don't think it is. It's just really hard to read. It looks super cool in the posters that they've been making, but it is not good for like UI stuff. It's been bothering me like the entire, especially when they put it on like if they would stagger the streams so that there would always be a game up instead of having it like this where like now we just have fucking 12.5 minutes and 20 fucking minutes between games where we all just sit here and look at images of Berlin, I guess. I don't know why they do that. They're like, let's just align them perfectly so that there's just no game on for 20 fucking minutes on 2 different streams. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure that there's like some reason for doing. Oh, I was like, I saw this person walking and I was like, is that Berlin? I was like, what? Like, this is fancy. Nope, Lord of the Rings. Okay. So they need at least, let's just hope for another like 4 or 5, 7. I don't know which, do we know which,
Nice.
Oof, my old eyes and why?
My old eyes. Do we know which stream it's gonna be on? Does it say on here? Oh, I don't have the Berlin thing up anymore. Bravo? Okay, they're both gonna be on Bravo? Great. I'm gonna close the main stream. Get out of here. Not interested. I haven't seen the results from the rest of the days. Okay, so Exet and Rogue both qualified. Nip and Damwon are out. Okay, so there is one NA team in there. FaZe and G2 are in. Sandbox and Sonics are out. Furia and Elevator in. Eminem and Astralis are out. Okay, so we got 2 NA teams out, 1 in, 1 yet to be decided. 1 APAC team is in. All the other ones are out. Or no. Yeah, wait, there's Elevate, okay. Yeah, Sandbox and Damwon are out. LATAM has 1 out, 3 in. And EU has 2 in and 1 out, 1 to be decided. Okay. Stream B for both games. Okay. Cool. Well, we have like a long time before they start, I guess, because they put a really long time between them. So the way that it works is that the players each have like their own drive with all their settings on it, and then they put it into the computer. So like that is one of the reasons that it takes so long in between, is because they have to like take the drives out of the computers, move all the peripherals off, and then put all the new ones in. And I guess it would be too much to ask for them to have like 4 setups so they could rotate. Because then you could have like 2 setups are live, 2 are being like prepared, and then when those 2 finish, then you use the other 2, and then you just like rotate, you know? That's what when I went to see Pink Floyd, I learned that that's what they do is they have a duplicate setup of the entire stage that goes in a trailer, just goes ahead to the next venue, starts setting everything up while they perform in one city, and then while they pack that one up, the band just goes to the next place and performs there. And so they just have this like leapfrog of equipment. But I can't imagine that R6 would ever have something like that, you know, where they could have 4 individual setups so that they could leapfrog, reduce the downtime between matches. They spent all their money on fonts. Dude, fonts are expensive. Fonts can actually be like crazy expensive. You'll spend like a few $100 on like one family of fonts. Oh yeah, there's something I wanted to look up. Let's see. They can be pretty expensive. Okay, let's see. Oh, it was 3.7 last time, not 4.7. I misremembered. Do I have any plans to do something like the Tarkov resets? Do you mean to do it like again? Or yeah, we're gonna do it again. I don't have a plan on when exactly, but it's gonna happen again. That's for sure. I don't know when, because if you were to go to Berlin, what would you want to see there first, assuming not attend any convention? I don't know anything about Berlin, so I have no idea. I don't know any landmarks or anything. I would look up something before I went, but off the top of my head, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the landscape or
Nice.
anything. Sabian, what's up? Thanks for the 32 months. Becca, what's up? Thanks for the 33 months. Tamarino, thank you for the 55. Nimbus, thank you again for the gifted subs. And Golden, thank you again for the 46. The Berlin Wall is really cool. There's like parts of it remaining, right? It's not like they took down the majority of it, I think. How much of it is remaining? Oh, it's this round.
Nice.
Hmm. Like 5% of the wall. I don't even know how like big it was. How big was the Berlin Wall? Yeah, but other than that, I don't know any like landmarks or anything. The Berlin Wall was not one wall, but two. 96 miles long and 4 meters tall. Museum Island. There's an island for wait, what? There's an island for museums? Ninja Croft, thanks for the 21 months. Appreciate it, thank you. Where museums go to retire. I don't know, I'm looking it up on a map now. It's like 5 museums all on one island. Okay. Heat warning. I just looked up on Google Maps and there's a heat warning. But it's in German. What are you saying? I'm just killing time because we still have like 10 minutes until the game starts. Heavy heat is expected on Wednesday and Thursday. Today is the 4th day of the warning situation in a row. It's kind of hot everywhere. It's kind of hot everywhere. Every year it's just hotter than it was the previous year. I'm sure it's nothing to be worried about, and then it's just normal climate change, right? Man, the timing of that. Okay. Okay. Well, we have 5 minutes until this starts. Let's see. Unmute. Yeah, I'm sure that there's like a lot of cool stuff to see in Berlin. It's just that I'm not familiar with it. I feel like we hear a lot of the... We hear a lot about all the, you know, like monuments in Paris and stuff like that, and I was going there and I was very familiar with that area. Or not, you know, I was familiar with what I wanted to see there. but we hear way less about stuff in Berlin, I guess. Like I said, if I was gonna go there, then I would look it up so that I would know where to go, but... I don't know off the top of my head. Berlin was your absolute favorite city to visit when you did your big Europe trip? I have kind of low expectations because Fromage said she doesn't really like it. And she is from Europe and has been there several times and has been to many other places, so... I've also been to Pont and it was fine. I don't know, it was like cool, but it was, I don't know, I didn't think it was like incredible. It was also that I was there mostly working and I didn't get as much time to explore as I did when I was in Paris. Because when I was in Paris, I had like 2 or 3 days just to wander around completely, so I did not have that while I was in Germany. I really liked Copenhagen though. I did climb the church steps, yes. I did not like the food. I didn't think the food was fantastic. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like when I was in London. London was the worst. London was the worst. The people were the most mean. And I had as much trouble understanding people in London as I did in Germany and Paris. Or Germany and France. Which I thought it would be easier since they speak English, but it's like some weird English that I could not understand anyone. It's just like, what are you saying? My taxi driver like made fun of me for having a duffel bag instead of a suitcase. It was just weird. Just very weird.
And
I did not like it. Yeah, we went to the Louvre, but we didn't stay a long time, and it was pretty crowded. For those of you who said that, like, oh, well, you said you enjoyed the history and frankness a lot of the museums and historical sites showed. Okay. Yeah, it's also that, like, it needs a full day, but I also didn't... I don't like being around that many people, but you can't get away from them in that situation. I don't like feeling herded. Like, you have to go a certain direction, especially because of COVID. That's the other issue, is that we went when it was, like, there was still... That wasn't, like, completely... I don't know, done with or whatever. And so you had to, like... You had to follow certain paths that they were, like, trying to make you go specific directions, and that was kind of stressful. Because if you wanted to, like, stop and look at something, it felt like you were just being pushed on, you know? So I didn't really like that. No, I don't like beer in general. So I had a schnitzel I remember that was really good. But I think I would say that the reason I didn't like it as much probably was mostly due to the fact that I didn't have a lot of time on my own to go see stuff. And the places where I had better experiences were places that I had free time to go and look at stuff. Well, I wasn't talking about Germany, I was talking about the Louvre in Paris, the museum. Germany, I didn't feel too crowded where I was. And I went to Gamescom, but like I said, I was working, so... that was a bit of a different experience. Because, like, I really liked Copenhagen, and the people were, like, super nice, and that generally was, like, a good experience, but I was there just, like, for fun. Paris was, for me, the top out of all of them that I've personally been to. Paris was my #1. London was, out of any of the Europe... This video is weird. What the fuck? It's, like, bouncing. Did you guys see that? That's weird. It's freaking me out. London was definitely the bottom of my list. I think Germany is like one that I would really like to revisit and have more freedom and not be like working all the time. I didn't feel like London was too touristy. I just felt like the people were rude and the food was terrible. Food was bad. We even went to like some fancy restaurant that was like some famous chef, and I was like, this isn't good. This is just not good. I don't like it. This is supposed to be good, but it's not. What's up, Walker? Thank you for the 3 months. Baroni and OG Black Widow, thanks for 69 months. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off for you guys because whoever made this video for Wolves, it is the most like flashing lights and like inverted, like look at this, look, it's just like invert, flash, glitch effect, flash again, invert colors, like just calm down. Way too much. I hate watching that video. Every time they play it, I just like look away from it. It's exactly like that GIF. Like I don't know why they did that. It's too much. Your wife refuses to go to Paris ever again? What happened? I loved Paris. That was like, that was maybe the highlight of my life. Not kidding. That was like one of my favorite trips that I've ever done.
We're getting into the real back end of things now. 2 games still to go. And we've got a real screamer of a game here between Wolves and W7M coming up. I'm Dez. This is
how
Tim.
loud is that
Tim,
compared to me?
what's what to say?
Decisions to be made, Des. Decisions to be made. These are a big couple of games. Sometimes you get towards the end of group stages and these games don't normally mean too much, but you better believe that they do for Wolves because they are not confirmed.
Good enough that you can hear it without it being too much?
W7M are, but Wolves, they've got 2 games.
Someone was sitting
they've
in
got
her
W7M,
lap.
they've got OXG, and it could all yet fall apart for them. So, super important games coming up.
We want more EU teams in playoffs.
Yes, we do.
I'm not saying W7M going to gift it to us, but Wolves know what it is they're fighting for. Can I point out, by the way, you slandered me earlier on about cleaning my own glasses.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be talking a whole lot. We're going to be watching the game, so...
Yep. Which one of us forgot our glasses coming in?
Yeah, so Fromage told me not to take the metro when I was there.
So our wonderful talent
she told me just not to take it at all.
After us as a list like that she keeps for people of like things that they might need or preferences, things like that. I think my entire list, she said this to me before, is Ace forgets his glasses.
Mine's probably is always last at the desk as well because I take things at a very leisurely pace.
Yeah.
Even.
I think Paris. I mean, Paris is
the current standings are coming into
Paris
this
is very
matchup.
touristy, right?
W7M, the most dominant team we have seen across every single group. 5-0 in regulation. No one has been able to stop them yet. Wolves are in second place on 7 points. Gaming Gladiators third
Jesus
on
Christ.
4, but they have played all their games. They can get no higher. Oxygen, though, in their last game of the group stage, play against Wolves. That is the game that comes after this one. So they are praying that W7M can stop Wolves in regulation. And given Wolves lost 7-3 on Chalet to W7M yesterday, there's a fairly good chance it can happen again.
Certainly is. I mean, basically for Wolves, just to really bring it down to simplicity, overtime, 6 rounds, will put them in the playoffs. They need 1 point. Yep. That's it. That then gets them far enough away. We can see
we just did this.
The outcomes there. Number of rounds Wolves versus need versus OXG, depending on the score here.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little breakdown for us. And just exactly what they'll need. So we can see there basically anything other than a loss in this one, or a regulation loss, they don't need any rounds. They don't need anything against OXG. So 1 point is enough, they go through. However, if they do lose in regulation, which let's be honest, this W7M side, there's a reasonable chance that that happens. Wolves very good as well, but they're a tough team to play against. If that happens, then it's going to come down to that round difference.
Take a repeat scoreline of yesterday, for example. Let's say that Wolves lose 7-3 here.
Yep.
They need to get at least 3 rounds against Oxygen. So to put that in perspective, Wolves can lose both of their next 2 games, 7-3, and still make it through.
Okay, is that what I did?
Give you guys an update
did I do it
after this
right?
game as well, exactly
Wait,
how many rounds they require. but that does require W7M beating them in regulation.
3-7.
Otherwise, it's a done and dusted deal, and the OXG game is all for a little bit of fun.
Yes.
And
I did
basically
it
what
right.
means is we're going to be
Chad, I did
squeaking
math
through
right.
for Wolves
Fuck yeah.
potentially on round difference. If it comes to that, lose both games. That's basically
Okay.
what they're fighting through on.
I
so
feel
Wolves.
good
For
that I
you,
like
you
feel
gotta get
validated. Like,
something.
okay, I
Time
know
will
what we're
tell.
doing.
Let's take a look at our map, Vito, and see where we're going to. It's a repeat, actually, of the first game.
They're going
Tim.
to
So,
Chalet
I mentioned
again?
earlier, it was 7-3
You
in the
just
first
did this
game they played
yesterday.
to W7M,
God, they
and
fucking-
Wolves
they
have gone
took
back there.
And we saw
Gaming
Chalet earlier on
Gladiators
with
to
W7M
Oregon
against
twice, and
Gaming
now they're going to
Gladiators.
Chalet
Yeah.
twice
It
versus
was 7-5.
W7M.
Gaming
Why is this
Gladiators won the
happening?
course, but
Fromage, what are you
W7M looks
doing?
good.
Outside of maybe 2 rounds, W7M
She has a
just
plan.
looked
It's fine.
stupidly dominant. There were a
She
couple
has
of
a
rounds,
plan.
of course, in the first half they did lose. That will happen on the defensive side of
I don't
Chalet,
know.
but they played Chalet like no other team I've seen. They play it hyper-mobile, hyper-aggressive, and that kept
I don't
Gaming
know why they're
Gladiators
just
answering
playing the
questions
same
from start
maps.
through to finish. One thing I will say, came across Wolves earlier on. They just rocked up to the venue probably about 5 o'clock, and I spoke to one of the observers who saw them yesterday when he was having a little tipple, and he basically said they were out really late, and I asked him, why are you out late? You got games tomorrow. Their first game is now. It's like 7:30 today. Their whole thing was, we stay up late, we get tired, we sleep all the way through, wake up in the middle of the afternoon so we don't lose our energy by the time our games come around. They have taken this very, very seriously. They know what this means to them. They want a spot on that stage, which, by the way, is looking absolutely phenomenal.
Cannot wait.
No, they
for
lost
Friday
3-7
kick off.
to
We're
W7M.
gonna have
We're
4
rooting for
big
Wolves, 'cause that's
quarterfinals
Fromage's
coming
team.
your way. But before we can do that, Des, we need 8 quarterfinalists, and we don't quite have them yet. So here we go. Chalet, Wolves, W7M, and Wolves, you need something. You need anything. 1 point will confirm their place in the playoffs.
Oh, they changed it.
Otherwise,
They changed
we
the font
move
at the
on
top.
to the next game against OXG. Here on the B stream, it will be. So
Where it says
you wanna know
WLV
what
and
happens with
W7M
Wolves? You better
at
stick
the
with
very
us for
top,
the next
that used to
couple
be
of
that
hours.
And
weird,
the thing
like,
is, coming into the
tiny font that
competition,
was impossible
Wolves,
to read.
W7M, both #1 rated
I'm glad
from
they
their
changed it.
regions.
Hi, Fromage.
This would look like
He's
a
right there.
semi-final game. If you said to me,
Hello.
without knowing what the group draw was, there's a game where Wolves and W7M play each other, I'd be like, okay,
She's smiling at the
is that
camera.
a
It's
quarter
me,
or a
she's
semi-final?
smiling at
Because it
me.
feels like a playoff
She
level
heard me.
game.
Yeah,
It
she-
is best
I'm in
of
her ears
one.
right
A
now.
best of 3 between
She knows.
these two teams would be absolutely phenomenal. But regardless of what happens, you will not see the matchup in the quarterfinals based on how the draw system
Oh
works.
god, my anxiety.
maybe
I'm
we
so
have to wait for a
nervous.
semi to see that one, Tim, and I, for one, could not wait to see it. However, this is just that best of one, first of all, on Chalet, Capital, and Nomad, the 2 bands that we've seen coming through. And you know what I'll do, Tim? I'll be a good little caster and go and look at what the bands were for yesterday as well.
Go and have a look. I mean, we've got slightly less regular bands there, not unheard of. Capite particularly. I mean, we know he's brilliant. Absolutely
yeah,
ton of
Bibu
utility,
is.
3-speed,
I
all
think
sorts of
they
good things
call
from
him the
Capite.
captain, but
doesn't
Rise is
see the ban
IGLing.
too
so.
often. It does leave Finker available.
I don't know. I
Wamai
think we just call him
and
Captain Bibu as,
Azami
like,
will be our
a
final
joke,
2. Azami,
but
no surprise.
Rise is
Wamai
IGL.
interesting because it will impact how the defenders are holding on to those sites. It's going to make Jaeger probably pretty much 100% pick now because they're going to need him in there to deal with those throwables. You could argue that Aruni's laser gates do a similar job dealing with some throwable utility, but they just don't do it anywhere near as efficiently as those Jaeger ADSs. So going to be plenty of Jaeger. Wamai out of the question, but it might mean that we just see a little bit more utility play from the attackers.
Some similar bands, but also some different ones in here as well. Both teams changing up one of their bands. Yesterday, Wolves banned away Valkyrie. That's been left open. They're playing with the Wamai taken off the board. It says to me they really want to lean into range utility like the Zofia that we've seen have a really good presence throughout the major. Lots of thrown nades, for example. On the other side, W7M, they banned away Sledge. That was taken off the board yesterday, and definitely what feels like a target ban against Rise, who started on his 0-12 game in Playday 1 of VUL Stage 2. And then from that point on became an absolute force playing things like that Sledge. So definitely a
move this
target ban. And the
a bit
Capital
more
for
out of
me,
the way.
I won't lie, didn't see yesterday's game, was casting at the time. May well have been that Wolves did play some Capital in that matchup.
Round number 1 underway then, and it's time for Wolves to get themselves a good start. They're on the attack of Chalet, which should play into their favour somewhat. They're going to be attacking onto Dining and Kitchen to begin with, and I will no doubt expect a top floor clearance from them to start things off. We've got a couple stacking over, ready to go up onto that piano balcony. Mowgli just going to recover his drone there as well for later use. 7 still in play, plus Twitch drones, so things not looking too bad for Wolves in terms of the intel. We can
The Twitch
have
drone
Bibu
jumping.
sending in those Twitch
We
drones
fought
as well.
for
He's
this,
gonna spot
chat.
out the Frostmat. That
Years
should give
of
them
me
all the
saying that the
information
Twitch
they
drone
need
should
so
be
that
able
they're
to
not
jump.
going and getting the legs trapped. And as expected, up towards the top floor they go.
Did he just use the
C4
C4?
went off then as
They
well.
did,
I'm not
yeah.
quite sure what it was. JV was hoping to find, but nothing is the answer. I'm seeing this
No, they
one
don't
here
have
where
any
Shinka's
C4s
ready. That
anymore.
juice comes through. That's going to the count for the rest of the team. You've seen the EE1D go off. You've seen the window get smashed down.
Nice, good
Shinka's in
Shinka.
for one swing as well. Elsewhere, there are still gunfights taking place. And W7M win out in 3 of those, shutting the Wolves down quite comfortably before P4 gives a little bit of balance. They're inside of sight at this point, Tim, but they don't really have any control.
No, none at all. It was a nice opener from Shinka, just a swing on the rappel, never an easy kill to find. KZ's going to find one. Does he get the second onto the window? He knows that he's there. He certainly does.
These guys are really
Putting
mechanically
that
gifted.
frost gun to great use. KZ
Twitch
from
used
the
to not be
trophy
able to
stage
jump,
manages
correct.
to close out the round. W7M, they will not be beaten by shock.
And you used to get your Twitch drone
And this was part of the worry for me
during the
when Wolves
prep
coming up
phase.
against a team
Now she gets a
like
regular drone.
W7M would be that you are coming up against a team that is very happy to play hyper-aggressive out and about around the map and make you challenge for every single spot of land that you want to walk into. And I think you saw it there very early on. We had Wolves pulling off this all-in-one execute. Shinka breaking out the window to cut off down towards Piano. You had the EE1D going off. 3 players of Wolves all pushing in. We've seen these coordinated attacks by these guys just run over so many teams in EUL. But you're not against one of the EUL teams in the lower half of the table anymore. You're against the best coming out of LATAM at the moment, given the last 2 stages and the records that they currently hold. So for W7M to shut that one down, absolutely not surprised. And this is where the depth of teams like Wolves will really get tested.
Right, so as we promised, we will keep you up to date with things, you know, how this game impacts the next for Wolves. They've gone 1-0 down now. The reason that I bring this up,
You know, it sounds great when you're saying that.
What sounds great when I say?
Wolves go 1-0 down. I just feel like I'm watching the football. I was thinking about it just a second ago.
Des is a big fan of Wolves as rival, basically, in the Premier League. So
based in the middle of the country in the UK, we have clubs like Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion,
I mean,
Birmingham City. And
Wolves
Aston
also
Villa.
have a really good
That's
record on
names,
Chalet,
doesn't it?
so
The thing is, all 3 of them are like obsessed with being rivals of Villa, and we just don't care.
it sounds
it's
a
not
little
like
bit
W7M
you
is the
said,
only
you just
team who
brought it
can
up
have a
minute
good
ago.
map.
I just don't care because they're all small teams. No one cares. But Wolves, we were having a big debate with the talent team about whether you say Wolves or the Wolves.
Yeah, there's the
It's a very
other,
common thing in
there's 2
America, like
streams.
American football to
Yeah.
say the Eagles, the Panthers.
I kind of ended this on the basis that Wolves is a shortened version of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah.
The Wolf has just been brought in as a mascot. Opening kill, going to go to W7M. That's 2. Herds and JV going to get themselves, but Bibu Rise managed to get the trades, and that is going to be 3 versus 3 inside the first minute. So we're seeing a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
early round
Wolverhampton.
aggression
That's the
coming out
org
from Wolves
that
here.
bought
They are
out
quick
the
moving, they're
Vitality
not messing
roster
about.
when
GDM
Vitality wanted
and
to drop them.
KZ, they're left inside of sight. Volps underneath. We saw the damage that Volps can do on the flank previously, so they need
have a
to make
C4
sure
still
that they're
for the
keeping a
Kaiden.
track on exactly where he is. 8 drones, so there's no reason for Wolves to be getting caught out here.
You're looking towards Captain Bibu really playing on the Blackbird here to do some damage as well. Those shields over the face prevents a headshot
Do they
going
know that
through.
this guy's on top
Normally
of
a
the
couple of
stairs?
shots coming your way, to be honest, so you should have the massive advantage in a number of these gunfights. At the minute, no one looking to swing out onto him. W7M just happy to pause momentarily whilst Wolves refigure out exactly what it is they want to do. Sure, they found a couple of kills, but they also lost their 2 entries in the process. So now you're looking more towards those backline players to step up strong.
Selma charge going to be thrown in there. I'm assuming
smoke's
that it
making me
got,
nervous at the top of the
burnt out by
stairs.
the electricity, given that that wall is electrified. But
Yeah.
that's not anything new, so I'm not really sure why that was thrown across. Maybe there was, you know, a plan that wasn't going to be electrified by the time it got there. I'm not 100% sure. But there we go. That's a Selma down. 1 remaining on the side of Shinka, so they need to be careful if they want to get that used somewhere. BB looking to push in behind the face shield of Blackbeard. He's thinking about getting onto office door here, which is going to be pressure for Volps. At the minute, he's playing in towards, he needs to recollect this diffuser. He's playing in towards the half wall at the minute. So potentially just going to be looking for a tight angle around that corner. He does tuck
40
himself back.
seconds.
That's very clever from Volps there. Just keeping himself out of danger, recognising where the pressure
They
is
know the
likely
case
to
is
come
on that
from.
door.
The real danger here is the team's so split from Wolves as well. They put all their resources into Solar Side and Rise, being chunked through by the looks of it by the smoke canisters down to half.
Oh,
KZ
boy.
finds one, and there's the last
Over
2
the
coming
shield
through.
even.
An easy close out for W7M. But back to that last conversation, Tim.
Yes,
Wolverhampton
so my
Wanderers.
point about Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was named as a shortening of Wolverhampton down to Wolves, and then obviously the Wolf came along as the mascot. That makes perfect sense. But you wouldn't say the Wolverhampton, because obviously it's a shortening of that. So
Yeah.
that's my argument where it comes in. But I know that the Org don't mind. They're quite happy to be referred to as the Wolves or Wolves.
As long as people are talking
As long as people are talking about it and supporting them, they are quite happy.
All I'm saying is their name is obviously having a full-on conversation about Wolves right now on this broadcast. So I'd say the conundrum of the Wolves or Wolves is actually
just in the esports
successful.
world, I think we're a bit more used to it. It's a bit more familiar that teams are named after, you know, animals or named after predators or, you know, all those sorts of things. So it's not unusual, but I think, you know, they do refer to themselves as the Wolf Pack and these sorts of things. So, you know, maybe we've got a little bit of a transition.
Let's stop that right now. You are officially Wolfpack, and that's it.
You're not allowed the. You can't have the.
It's like Tim, just drop the from everything you say, and it's fine.
Yeah, the players have contracts.
So anyway, back to the
but they can
very
be sold
first
to
point
other
that I was
orgs.
making, which was
You got to drop the.
back
I
to
don't know, it's all really
the very
complicated.
first point that I was making, which is that Wolves need to be getting rounds on the attack. This is Chalet.
You said the then as well.
Oh, I can't do
Rounds
it.
on the attack.
I can't do it.
Get rounds on attack.
This is Chalet, where you are expecting attackers to
Yeah, I
get
don't-
as many rounds as they can, because
I guess it's
defense
Dez
is
that's,
difficult,
like,
as is dropping the word there.
talking about it
So
a lot.
Wolves are looking for the rounds here in the first half. They haven't got any yet in the first two, Des. You know, if they were to lose this 7-2, it means that they need 4 rounds against OXG, and that might not be an easy thing to do when the pressure's on. So this first half is doubly important for Wolves,
they beat
because
OXG
it might
once,
be very tough for them to get rounds on
7-5,
defense against
7-4.
W7M.
Again,
Right,
referencing
so
the game
I
yesterday,
don't know why they're acting like this
5-1
is
W7M
impossible.
had in their defensive half against Wolves. They couldn't really win around for love nor money on the attacking side, which is weird to say, because Chalet especially is considered to be an attacker-leaning map. Getting a 3-3 split is pretty good for the attackers. Sometimes you're looking towards a 4-2, and teams hate defending on it. But W7M seem to break that rule and say, you know what, no issue on our side at all. They've got the scan onto the player in the back of library here, so they know that there is
You know
someone
he's
dug
there,
in deep.
but they just
they've
can't.
got to force
Yeah, there's
him
like no
out.
way to get
Normally
in there,
nades from the south
basically.
window are the way to go. There are several
gonna try
nades
and
coming
nade
in
it.
here, and they've let JV get
Oh, he
away.
slipped down.
What an absolute steal.
That's it, JV burning nearly half of the round in the corner of library, and the problem persists for Wolves
Saw
because
that Valkyrie
Hertz
up
is
top
still on
watching the
mezzanine,
windows.
KZ's still out potentially by library stairs. He's pushed up a little bit towards piano door, but still the point remains they've got 2 out of
upstairs.
3 pieces yet to deal with on this library clearance before they can think about getting themselves inside. Hertz is going to drop away after
got
being
flashed.
full white flash. That leaves KZ to try and hold on to this top floor now. This should be easy for Wolves to deal with. They need to recognise that, push him, kill him, and then they can start working towards side.
I was going to say the damage that KZ can do here on the top floor, though, if he's left ignored and Wolves wrongly assume everyone has dropped down towards the site, he can cause a real headache. Looking to move his way forwards in towards library here. There are drones going forwards, but I'm not convinced any have seen him yet. Now they know that he's there because he shot out the drone, and the question will be, how do Wolves react? Do they commit resources
He's
to
still up
chase him
there.
down, or do they go for the fight? He's in a spot to be able to drop away here. Sees one, but misses some critical shots. Charges away. I keep on speaking
Yeah.
like a jet down.
Nice,
And
good.
it's not quite fast enough.
Good, Mowgli.
Mowgli chases him down, and that's 1 kill coming back for Wolves, but they've only
30
got 30
seconds.
seconds left to play.
That's the big factor. 2.5 minutes wasted by KZ up there, and still not really a focus from Wolves on getting the kill.
Malusi has an
onto him.
impact,
yes,
but they don't have a
the
C4
opportunity
anymore.
was there, and they took it. But still, when they knew that he was up there, they were still going into
shit.
library, looking the wrong way, just as Rise does there. JV shuts him down. 4 versus 3 now. Wolves looking comfortable. Sorry, W7M looking comfortable with 10 seconds left to go. 3 versus 1, 2 versus 1. As the kills start to come in with Simbi, who do this through the stage. It's unlikely that
Oh,
he
the other one's
finishes this though,
upstairs.
as the man has run away. He's going to have to plant this diffuser. The clock is ticking. That is that, and it's Volps to finish it off. Well played, W7M.
very, very well played.
What's up, Rosin?
indeed.
Thanks for the
And
66
I was going to
months.
feel for a second down the line that got dropped down. I think it was Rise when JV came down from dining side. I have zero doubt that Wolves knew there might be a player on that side of the map. I don't think I've ever seen a barring game in defense where there isn't one roamer from the defensive side playing up towards kitchen and dining, normally opening up the lobby walls as well so they can see through into fireplace itself. It was more just they had no time left. They had to hit the site, and he was relying on JV not being the man to come pushing him there in the dying seconds. Still, Wolves are down 3-0. W7M have finished that first quarter. They've done their first 3-site rotation. They will repeat the same thing again. Wolves having this conversation now after 3
So
rounds.
they're
about
using
how
their
they're gonna
tactical
tackle
timeout, but
these
it looks
next
like they have a
rounds where
technical
all the
problem at the
problems
same
went against
time.
them is the right play, in my opinion.
Because from
Wolves
Osh can't
taking
talk to the
tactical
players
timeout.
if they
We
have a
can see
tactical,
the,
sorry, a
coach
technical
in the background
timeout.
there,
Just
just
technical
chatting
timeouts
to
are just
them
for
on
like.
the headset, trying to feed some information back in. I don't know if there's maybe a little bit of a technical issue at the same time that's going to get looked at. I
Yeah,
could
'cause
be
it
wrong
looks like
there. I'm
Beaver's
just
having
going
a
off
problem.
what I see on the cameras. But yes, Wolves, they need to start getting kills and they need to start clearing these roamers on the attack.
Why did you jump up and down as you said that?
Because it's EU and they need to do it, Des. We need Wolves to start getting rounds on the attack here, because if W7M go 6-0, 5-1 on this half and get themselves onto the attack, I don't know how many rounds there are going to be there for Wolves. You know, when we start looking at those sorts of figures, you're talking needing 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's all the SSDs and all the peripherals.
Win, really, that's what you're looking at.
Except for the monitors
that sort
and the
of
headsets.
pressure when thinking about getting through to the major. They need to get some rounds here and make their life a little bit easier. Frustration up on that top floor. You know, it took them so long to deal with that library problem, and even then, when Casey, there was, I think, maybe a little bit of presumption. The drone comes out, Casey shoots it, they know that he's there. He does the Oryx dash away.
So there's two different types of timeouts.
They've all dropped away. And really
there's a technical timeout, which is for problems with the game or with peripherals or equipment or whatever.
To library.
And then there's a tactical timeout. She gets like 45 seconds to talk to the team.
That was 2 minutes 30 into the round. They can't allow W7M to be staying in power positions like that for so long.
Already talked to them, which is why she's not talking anymore. So I think they did use the tactical timeout, because they only get one of those per match.
But do you want to know the big secret?
Go on then.
When you get to my grand old age,
but it looks like they're also having a technical problem. So the players are allowed to talk right now, but she can't talk anymore.
Yeah, you just stop growing.
Slowed down by like achy knees and a bit of back pain.
You get slowed down by that sort of
you
stuff.
Can't sleep as well.
But effectively, when something goes wrong, you still look round for an adult who's more adult than you.
Well, yeah, all the players have their own keyboards and sponsors and stuff, so they have to bring their own keyboard with them and their mice.
Everything's been
probably their mouse pads too. People play on different mouse
pads. I'll
pads.
just kind of live things on the edge and be like, I don't care enough to have to overplan and overstress on things.
Do you see? I think that we've developed over time as well in our little relationship. Once upon a time, like you. And then
they have drives where they.
Now you know most of it, but you're starting to come around
have all the
occasionally.
player settings,
and
so
it's
they don't have to
funny
change all
how
their
being
settings
13
each time.
hours early for a flight will do that to you.
Yeah,
you know,
weird, that,
when I
it?
said, Des, just check your flight. No, I'm not checking my flight time, Tim. I live for chaos.
They don't regulate allowed keyboards and
spending
mice?
13 hours at the airport. Yeah, it's
What do
funny
you mean
how
regulate?
that sort of thing has sort of made you think,
No,
right,
the monitors
there's a process
stay.
for you now. And I
The
say
monitors,
something
these
in my
headsets they're
super
wearing that are
organised
noise
way, and you
cancelling,
go,
those stay.
do I need to listen to this? There's that question never used to be there.
No, there's two questions I have to ask. Do I need to listen to this? And do I want to listen to this? Do I want to give Tim the satisfaction of saying, yep, you know what, Tim, you're right, spot on.
This is the underlying problem with you, is that you will suffer personal discomfort just to not have me be right about something.
Just to be stubborn
to
and
not give me that satisfaction.
It's like a playful stubbornness.
I don't know why, because I'm not a smug person. I'm not the sort of person...
Oh, but you are.
I'm not the sort of person that will rub it in.
No.
I'm just trying to help you.
No. I explained this to someone a couple of days ago. You are smug, but it's really like hidden, concealed. Like you are. It's that subtle.
This is slanderous.
It's the subtle like downwards nod of the kind of like wry smile on your face, and I'm like, no one else will see it as smug.
I mean,
but I know exactly what you mean.
I think the thing is, it's because I'm only smug with you
within
now,
reason. I assume. Yeah.
So
I don't know if there's like an allowed
resisting
list or something. These guys do not stop talking. I know it's their
proving
job, but Jesus Christ.
Tim, you know what I'm going to do if I get my suitcase back tomorrow when I go to the airport?
Why would they make people use the same peripherals? There's 16 teams with 5 players on each team.
I did tell you so.
They all have different sponsors. Each team has different sponsors, or they have different preferences.
Now the stream evidence of it.
I mean,
8,000 people have just seen you basically admit to it.
Yeah, some people are left-handed, some people want like different switches for their keyboards, and like there's a lot of things that some people use different like mouse pad surfaces. Some people use cloth mouse pads, some people use those like glass ones.
This is the thing. Everybody listening at home doesn't realize this. Des says
I mean, DPI settings can be, any mouse has DPI settings mostly, but like the switches, yeah.
Up with me, and then he goes over and he does cute little things like make montages of us. And
for me, not for you.
Exactly.
So,
really,
I think it would be more weird if they forced you to all use the same one.
Like I said, it's playful stubbornness.
That would suck.
It's a little bit of chaos.
And I hate this is it. It's playful smugness.
It's not just sponsors, it's their personal preference too. Like even if they don't have a peripheral sponsor, if they have their own preference for what they want to use, you can't force them to use one thing that they don't use for the rest of the year.
In what feels like a director's high chair, I've got 1 foot up on a table.
Hotkeys is irrelevant. That's not part of what we were discussing either. Yeah, that's just the game settings. That's not
It is. It's a real
the actual physical peripheral. Like
It's a little bit romantic.
everyone uses their own equipment.
Black shirt. That's your Valentine's shirt, that is. We did the,
It was my Valentine's
we did
shirt
the Valentine's intro on
from
stream with it.
SI22 this year, was it?
You play for thousands of hours at home
Where the
on like
intros
one
are
mouse,
all
and then you go to a tournament and they make you
wasn't it
switch.
like roses are red, defenders are blue. Something is siege, but our true love is you.
Yeah. Maybe our passion is siege, but our true love is you.
Or something like that.
I can't remember the
Raj is
poem.
talking again.
There's the crystal ball one was great. I
That was good
I
fun.
watched that back and laughed at that one.
Yeah, that was good.
You
fun.
doing the whole like Eminem one where
The
you
Eminem
revealed the
jersey.
jersey.
She could be
I think that
talking
was
to
first
the
ever one.
admins
Was
and
that
stuff.
the
They've got
first- I
like
think that was the
different
first one that we did.
channels
Was it the
that
No, see, well,
they
Siege
like
Time-
move the
Time was the
coaches
first.
Siege
around.
Time was kind of the first. We did that, and then we were like, right, we should follow it up with this.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just once we'd done the second, that was it. We were
My
locked
favourite
in then.
one still is the hammer.
That was
Because
pretty good.
you know why I really like it? It's
Non-standard
because
hockey.
you
I mean,
were
they're not
doing
gonna
the
use
kind of, like, my
hotkeys
kind of style
for-
of chaotic,
that's pretty-
like,
I mean, maybe
I'm
on your
almost-
mouse, if some
it's-
people have like
I'm
leaning on their
often
mouse, just
I'm
maybe
often
stuff
the
like that.
straight man in our
you know?
gags. It's like you'll make the
yeah.
joke, and and you sort of play off my reaction. Whereas that was completely the other way around. It was like I was being silly for once. That
I
was,
think
what
everyone
it
missed it
was.
when we tried to imitate each other's accents. So Tim tried to do. Well,
That was
Tim did
brilliant.
do like a Peaky Blinders Brummy accent,
Des just didn't expect the fire that I brought to that.
and I tried to do a Tim accent where
okay.
I was like, what did I
You'd
say?
already lost
I
it
said-
by that point.
I was just laughing
you said,
the whole way
You
through.
said that I was buzzing, and you were like,
like-
"That's not a word you'd ever
I was
use."
like, that's not a word
and you
you'd
just
say.
lost
No, and I crumbled under that. Right, that's it, Des. We're back into game now, and it's time to get underway with wherever it was. Yeah, I can only get through about half a sentence before I just crack up laughing.
it.
I wonder
It's
what
not
happened
easy
to
talking like me.
Bibu.
So those
Imagine
of you,
living your entire life like that.
Every time they
Honestly, I
have
feel
those
so
issues,
bad
I want
for
to know
your
what's
missus.
going
She
on,
must
but I know that they don't want to
absolutely hate
focus on
that.
it too
Speaks like
much.
you as well.
Her accent's
So-
worse than
Is
mine.
it?
Her accent's
Oh,
worse
is she a
than
real
mine.
mank bird?
No, she's not.
No,
so,
she's not.
So I'm originally from a town called Burnley, and
Burnley.
Stop it. I'm
Well,
from a
if I
town called
lower the
Burnley.
commentators, then I lower the
Vicky-
entire thing, and I
Vicky,
want to
my
be able to hear
wife,
the
from town
game.
called
There is a
Burnley.
clean
Their
feed, but
accent
like
is a little bit thicker than ours. It's a little
I
bit
feel like it's
stronger.
too
Is it like
quiet.
the lovely version of mine?
These
They're
guys
the
talk a
ones who
fuckload
say,
though. Like
instead of
they're
bus, they'll say buzz. or
just
buzz.
talk about the
Yeah,
game.
that's-
Talk about
that's
this
where
dude.
that
He's
comes
trying to
from.
spawn
Right,
peak.
Buzz.
That's horrible.
What the fuck are you
Well,
talking about?
Stirs instead of stairs.
Stairs. You going up
I'm
the
going up
stairs?
the
No one
stairs.
gives a shit. Focus on the game.
That's my wife's accent.
That is tragic.
They're in.
I mean, my missus is posh near Cambridge. You can imagine what that's like, me taking the mick out of her all the time. The arguments over saying castle
Ooh.
or castle and grass,
That was
they will
close.
never end until the day I die. Anyway, thank you for sticking with us through what seemed like a really strange 5 minutes of us just talking utter crap. We're now back into game. We can focus on the outcome.
Yeah, we've been into the game for
W7M, as
a
reminder,
fucking
took
minute
those
and a
first three
half.
Rounds. Wolves
Wake
called
up.
a timeout. They had a tech pause. They've had to go through that as well. They need to get some rounds on the boards, because otherwise, if they end up 7-0
I can't mute them.
here,
If I mute them,
they
I
have
mute the
to get at
game.
least
So
5
I just
rounds
explained that.
against NIP.
We could watch the clean feed, but then it's
Oxygen.
like
Oxygen.
I don't like the complete lack of
It's all
anyone
initials.
talking.
Now.
It's all initials, Des.
Honestly.
With
I
too
just would
many
love if they would
initials in
actually
C.
focus on the
RDS,
game.
D2, NIP,
I loved
OXG,
your, I
They're
loved
talking
your-
about all
I
the
loved your
games that are
W7R
not, all the
earlier.
people that are
Yeah,
not in this
I
game
like
right now.
that.
It's tough
Like,
getting
just
the right letters.
W7R.
Getting the right letters.
Kind of piratey.
Right, W7M are indeed defending dining and kitchen. Wolves currently working towards a little bit of top floor control, but at the minute haven't been able to really dislodge or disrupt W7M up there, and that's something that Gaming Gladiators did struggle with from time to time as well. So a lot of horizontal work coming in from Wolves at the minute, but obviously that's maybe going to be a little bit difficult come the later round when W7M are able to deny from above. So it's certainly something that they've got to have a plan for. It's not necessarily the end of the world, but herds, I was just going to say, you can breach through main wall and you can get in and get the diffuser down so long as you've got office. That's the key, and herds right now is preventing any opportunity for them to do that.
I've never even thought about Herds' name, but there are so many puns you can make about him herding goats and things like that. I'll find the
We have
opportunity
not
and I'll
cleared the
drop it.
top.
It's going to be
This is
biblical.
making me really anxious. This
Volt's
is getting
holding on the
really
vertical
close.
angle, just daring someone to step forwards in the wrong angle here, and they'll be going down.
It's a
to the
beauty,
end
is
of
that?
this
They dropped
carbine.
the
What?
diffuser.
You can
before they
use that
went
in
in
your
there.
rank game. You open up on the top floor where the rug is, open the hatch up in trophy, it goes all the way down to
good man.
garage door. But I tell you what, Volps is not looking down to garage door. He's going to rip Shinker off the rappel. KZ manages to get Mowgli. Rise does clear out GDM from inside the side, but in a 4 versus 3 with 35 seconds left to go, this is going to be a big ask from Wolves, because Forest. Don't forget, they still have men above here. We've still got Herds inside of Office looking for that vertical denial of any plant attempt.
The thing is, the Wolves here as well, it feels like for probably 2 minutes they haven't achieved an awful lot.
Man,
They've got themselves
all the
set to
defenders
say
are up
ready,
top
set,
except for
go.
one, I think.
And now they've said go, things have kind of crumbled, and they're trying to scramble for what they feel is the right play. The vertical
what they're
angle's
doing.
working against them.
Why are you
Herds
guys
and
not
KZ
doing the
holding the
top
same
four?
angle together. They're herding them like sheep at this point, Tim, is what I want to say, because they look as scared of them as well. Bleating away, W7M shut them out
What?
and take it to 4-0.
Why didn't they clear the top floor at all? They
Things
just
are
like tried to
starting run
ignore
away
it, but
from
they were
Wolves
all
at
up
the minute.
top.
It certainly seems like the pressure, the nerves might be playing a little bit of a factor here. They know how important it is, not necessarily to pick up a win. Don't get me
Pause
wrong,
timer
even
again.
1 point here, get yourself to overtime. You know, 1 point puts you in the playoffs, but forget that. Even if you have to come away with 0 points, getting as many
is going
rounds as
on?
possible whilst doing it. We keep talking about how if they don't get any rounds, it's going to be a
Fromage.
problem. But on the flip
Ooh,
side, if
she's
they get
pissed.
5 rounds here, they only
Oh,
need 2
she's
against
pissed.
OXG. They can pick up 1 defense, 1 attack, and they're done. They're in the playoffs. So 5 rounds here would be absolutely massive, even if they can't get the point that they need. We're going to head back in, W7M.
She
2
does
more
not look
defensive
happy.
rounds to go. We've got Volps
I wonder
already
what's
setting
going
up the
on.
trophy stairs,
I'm sure
which
I'll
tells
find
me
out.
before
Whether or not
our
I can
wonderful
tell you when I
observer
find
pans down
out
for
is
us that we're going to
another
be in
story,
Master and
but-
Office, which we indeed are.
Oh, yeah.
And
Who's
What's
observing
weird is
this
they
game?
haven't gone to the
Speak to
basement
me now,
literally
please.
at all.
Please.
I'm not 100% sure.
Because I know,
I
Mandy...
don't think it's medics.
So
I think it might be easy.
we're about to find out.
If they've won the
I
site,
heard
shouldn't aren't
noise.
they?
I don't know.
Wait,
It's
have they
Mandy!
gone to the
Oh,
basement?
it's Mandy, yes!
Right,
Because I was
there
going to
we
say,
go.
Mandy was like, she was excited like a kid in a candy shop in the
She was
green
like,
room.
can I observe
She was
one?
like, yeah.
Don't
She
they have
wanted
to go
observe
through
the
all
game.
the
For those
sites
who don't
before they
know,
can
Mandy
go
used to
to
be
the
an
same one
observer
again?
probably
I'm
6 to 9 months ago or so, and then moved to
forget
being a
how that
caster,
works.
and then now is at a major.
And I must say, has come into Major and done a fantastic job.
She is doing a wonderful job, and she
Along with
absolutely
that
loves
Mark.
I don't know what
my
they're
Spy
talking
Family
about.
shirts,
What?
therefore, she's,
Well, there you go.
she's in the Weeb Club with me, mate, sorry. She's one of my people.
There are
And
4
now
sites. They
doing a
reset after
fantastic
3.
job on
Okay,
the
so they win
observing.
3,
Exactly.
and then they can repeat.
Exactly.
We're going to have to
After
get Mandy
3,
playing
okay.
on stage. Surely.
I was
It's
like,
the
I
only
don't
thing
remember
left
what
for
the
her to
rule
do.
is. I
She
thought
can
maybe
be
they
an
had to go
admin, she
through
can
all of them.
produce, she can do the lot. She's just that kind of superwoman. Here we are.
Mowgli in the top floor, going to be working across from Library at this point. He's on the Finker, just looking to get that main floor control. I think they're picking up on the fact that W7M are playing
the
so
angle.
heavily
Mowgli,
around the map
Mowgli,
here.
Mowgli.
How does he not get the kill, Mowgli?
Mowgli!
With the
Oh, he
credit
TK'd.
kill. Casey, he's just shooting through everybody.
That's
Jesus.
unbelievable. I mean, when Mowgli can't get his job done, just enlist W7M to help you. A little bit of miscommunication there, I think. But when you've got bullets flying at you, okay, look, you're not going to be able to
Man.
communicate perfectly in that moment. It's a team kill. They get the response, and it's the Finker that's gone in exchange for
not-
the Jaeger.
not a
You
great
don't take
trade, but-
like that every day of the week, Tim.
You expect to lose your Jaeger early on. You know, we've discussed this already. His gadgets are
I can't,
a
like,
place
if
and
I
forget.
lower them,
He's just a
then
gun in
that's
the
what I'm
map.
saying, guys. I've
You're
explained this
looking for
already,
those
like, 4
entries.
times.
That's why the
If-
Jaeger
then
will
it's the
often
whole
take
game
on
is too
the spawn
quiet.
peak, will often be one racing towards barricades. It's not the end of the world. There is far more value in taking that Finker off the board. That much is for sure. 4 versus 4 though, and all is not lost for Wolves. It's a good job for them that Volps did get taken out by KZ in that little interaction. But Wolves are moving pretty good here. That's the one thing I would say. 1 minute 15 to go. They're already thinking about that breach. They've managed to get 2 Selma charges to do a single detonation, but the problem that leaves them with is that there is no walkable hard breach, Des. There is no more Selmas left. They go. Oh no, they have. They've got the second one off.
It's not
Very
walkable,
lucky
though,
then.
no, it's-
Wolves able to
Oh,
get
no, that
into
one's open.
sight.
The rotate's
Casey
open on
there
the right.
getting a little bit aggressive, I think, as well. Was Crouch walking his way towards the breach itself. Forgetting there were a couple of players potentially off towards the right-hand side who did eventually bring him down. So Wolves find themselves with a numbers advantage. They haven't had that too often across many of these rounds. And then Herd shuts it down, brings things back to a 3v3. A shotgun pump from GDN. A kill coming in with a headshot from the Vector from JV. They're just decimating Wolves on their actual execute. And it's got to be so frustrating for the Wolves. Try as they might, they cannot find a round for love nor money.
This is going all wrong for the European side at the minute. W7M, Des, they're just unstoppable right now. You know, I look towards the playoffs. I said, you know, we've got to have those questions answered about international best of threes yet. But do I honest? I'm clutching at straws at that point of what could be the weakness of this W7M side.
No,
I'll
this
admit
is-
it
it's not
myself.
working. This
Do
is
I
not a good
expect
attack
them
at
to
all.
struggle in best of threes? Absolutely not. I think they're going to go in there and show us 3 fantastic maps instead of 1 if necessary. So for me, W7M they're just looking unstoppable at the minute. We need, you know, I feel like what we need to see is a real test for this W7M side. I want to see them lose a map. I want to see them lose a map, and I want to see how they react. You know, do we get a team that comes back even stronger? Or, as we've seen with other teams in the past, sometimes they take that loss and it just crumbles. You know, everything breaks down around them. I don't think that'll be the case, but we can't know until it's tested.
I'd imagine most teams probably want to swerve taking them to Chalet as well. They've seen them play it twice in this group stage against Wolves.
I'm really
both
surprised
times,
that they've
taken at least 5 defensive rounds.
W7M back to Chalet.
There will be 11 out of 12 defensive rounds won against the Wolves.
But maybe it was the lesser of two evils, I guess.
Oh no.
See, they've
Shut
got
me
you.
up,
That's
my
how
fellow
they get.
countryman.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
These American folk getting in my head, it's not good.
The thing here as well is that W7M have played a number of maps on Chalet.
I don't know what you're saying,
which
Mano.
means there's other maps that they haven't played yet, Des, that they're almost certainly keeping hold of. So if this is a map they're willing to keep showing us, what are they going to do on the ones that they're covering up?
That's the scary part, right?
Terrifying.
Just imagine. Plenty more to come from them, I'm sure, as we go. However, for now, at least, Wolves are putting their focus in Library. There is once again a player sat in this back corner. They've struggled to crack through here a couple of times. Just found themselves being constantly challenged.
I know that
JD
the
last
basement
time
site
managed to
too
drop
is
through his
generally
hatch,
like
Nade started
the
to fly
least,
and gets himself alive. So
the one that people
it's
like
gotta
the
be quick
least
and it's gotta be pacey from the
on this
Wolves.
map.
I've done it again.
JV. JV just holding the tie.
And
He's
he's
going to
out.
drop away. No surprise there. That's better from Wolves. It's taken them only a minute this time to clear that down. KZ's going to be taken out by Bibu. And could this be Wolves managing to find themselves another gear, managing to find themselves a path
Okay, C4
into the
wasted.
game? They need to start
Did
it
not
with
connect.
one round. Herds over the balcony. And that is the top floor clear, I think. I'm not sure if there's anybody on the top side on Master and Statuary. I don't think there is. Volps is going to take down Bibu from over that side of the map. JV just rotating underneath as well. So Wolves
three
need
of
to be
them.
careful here that they don't head back up and try to challenge that top floor again. It feels like something W7M would do to try and retake that vertical in the late round.
Wolves want it because
It's
they're
a
still
single
opening
map.
up verticals
Best of
here
ones.
with the Flores.
Ooh,
oh,
the
if GDN had
timing.
held there, see the second man coming in through the window, but no, going to miss out on that one. The thing is, Tim, look through the walls. There are 3 members of W7M
Movie.
holding up towards the north side here. That, to me, just screams a massive retake is on the
Good shots,
cards. They
man.
want to flank Wolves as they start getting ready for the execute, and it feels like Wolves may have cottoned on. They've got drones
Another
going
TK.
up, but not another team kill.
Nice.
2 in 2 rounds is
Nice,
not
Rise.
good.
Great shot from Rise there, just taking the quick peek around the door, swinging
Oh, no,
into
Mowgli.
office and managing
God, he
to
was
get
right
himself
underneath
another. But
you.
here comes
Fuck.
GDM. We've seen a couple of big shotgun kills already, having to flip to the SMG
Okay.
as Rise
Oh, boy.
takes down
You know he's
Volts. It
underneath.
leaves him in a
You know he went
1v3.
down the
Surely
stairs.
this is the
You know
opener
where
that
he
the
is.
Wolves need.
Play
They're gonna have a
together,
spray
get a
down
crossfire,
there. GDM
don't
managing to
1v1 him.
connect with P4, but doesn't manage to
You have
find the
sight.
kill. You're always searching for the headshot with this SMG because
the
otherwise it
plant.
can be a really tough fight to take just because of
There
that
you go.
increased
Nice job,
recoil.
Rise. Rise got a
Rise
triple on
managed
that
to
one, I
shut him down at distance.
Jesus fucking
GDM
Christ.
taken out. W7M beaten down in round 6, and Wolves managing to get a first round on the
Hate
board.
this.
A big cheer from
I
Wolves
hate
at that
it.
as well,
I
because they
really-
know,
I just
again, just
really
how
hate it.
important every single round they can hold on for.
I mean,
here
they don't-
is.
like, they don't
If
need
get
even
to that
to win.
7-3 scoreline, they've
Like,
got to take 3 rounds against
yeah,
OXG,
obviously they
and
want
they've
to
done it.
win.
If things had
If they
stayed
can
going
get this to
6-0,
overtime, that would be
W7M
really
potentially
fucking great.
7-0,
But we
5
need them to
rounds
at
of
least take a
quiet
couple
against
more
OXG.
rounds.
That is just how valuable. Every round as they can get in this game here will be one less round they
It's
have
also
to get in
like-
the next game generally. There's a couple of exceptions.
I was just going to
but-
say,
I don't know
that
how
round
hard it's gotta be for your
specifically is
mental.
one of those like thresholds that
Yes.
changes things. So where they needed 5 rounds against
So
the
like,
OXG
okay,
before.
I'm gonna mute them for a second because they have to play W7M and then right after they have like 15-20 minutes and then they have to play, I don't know if it's that long, but then they have to play OXG straight away after this. So then they basically have to like deal with losing if they lose to W7M. They have to deal with that, put that aside, and then reset their brains and their mental to now like play against OXG when it's like it's that part I like that's so hard. Like if you lose really poorly in just like a ranked game, then going into the next one, it's like when you feel like you're not hitting your shots, and like I wonder if that's, you know, Mowgli is dealing with that where he's just not really landing his shots. Now you have to go into like another game knowing that you've like performed poorly already in one game,
On the board.
which is frustrating.
That was 4.
So
honestly.
KZ going to be taking the long shots down towards West Main Stairs there. I think he was just a little bit concerned. Maybe somebody took a peek at him. I'm not sure what happened there, but he was definitely very focused on that. He's still flicking towards it, so definitely a concern for him there. But W7M definitely stacking up towards the top floor clearance, which we would expect. Information coming in from the drones, just giving Herds the little heads up, and if he takes his shots now, he might just have a little bit of joy. Not on the further target, it's the one closer that I'm looking at. I think that's the one
Pantero's up,
pinged
thanks for
out
4
and that
months.
Herds is watching for. If Rise tries to head into bathroom, he might find himself in trouble, but given the deployable shield that's in front of him, I think he's going to be playing his life for at least the next minute or so in there. We've got one inside of office as well, so right now Wolves are pretty stable on that top floor. The big thing is the gunfights are going to come and they have to win them.
I really need to see Wolves abusing that Nomad ban here as well. We spoke about the respect that W7M showed to Gaming Gladiators on their attack in bringing along a Nomad. And we even said for the first half entirely, Gaming Gladiators, you need to bring the Nomad. You've got to deal with these flanks coming out of W7M. But they didn't quite give them the respect they deserve, but we did see it coming back the other way. So for Wolves to ban that away is again a mark of respect towards W7M. But now you've got to abuse that lack of potential flank watch or anti-flank utility.
Office wall being opened up was enough to push Mowgli back out of there and further into the top floor, in towards Master, along with Rise, who's dropped back now into bathroom. Herds needs to be careful on this window because Rise is stood looking at it, but somehow Herds is able to win the fight. Des on the reverse angle, great headshot. Herds is looking for more, and it might just come here as the Malusi Habibu is eager for a peek, and if he does, he might just lose it. He was going through the doorway there, so didn't expose himself to that angle, but needs to be careful.
Nice.
Mowgli takes his opportunity to catch
Nice.
and there's the spray down as Bibu had relocated. Well played from Wolves.
Come on, boys.
Here we go on the set through, make it a third as well. Much stronger stuff coming out the French side. Two remaining, GDN and KZ. One goes
Mowgli
down.
activated.
Mowgli starting to wake up, it feels like as well. I say that, and he hits the deck. I do apologise, that's a cast of curse and a half. KZ now against 3 though, Bibu down.
Yeah, me too. We both were like talking about it. Oh, again. No! Don't let him get back up.
Finished off there. Wolves get a critical second round.
Don't let him get back up.
It is important, as I said, 3 is going to be the break point for them. That's what's going to improve the requirements that they've got against OXG, so they don't want to get too carried away just yet. They need to be getting more defenses in the bag, but the fact that they've been able to shut down W7M
Yeah,
so
you see
well, I was impressed with how
the
they
camera,
dealt with
the
that
third
top floor.
one
Bibu's
down.
rotation,
You see the
particularly
girl standing in the
that
back?
movement through
That's for
Master
Maj.
to replace Riser's spot
She's the head
just on
coach.
that doorway into
It's
bathroom.
Finka. Finka
baiting
can
Herds
res
in
herself
there,
now.
thinking that he was clear and could come in and take that fight, but Bibu wins it out.
Finka
And
is
also the
the
aggression from
top
Mowgli to push
right.
back onto the breach.
Kai's-
It's not always easy to
I don't
do
know how
that,
to
to
say that.
retake lost ground. They opened the wall, Mowgli dipped back to bedroom, but then thought, no, we need
The
to
yellow,
stand tall
like, fist
here. We
icon.
can't let them have the top floor. And he went in
She
and got
has,
himself a freebie onto the
like
line.
a
Perfectly
boost
played from Wolves. Excellent
that will
round. Second
heal
on the board.
everyone
And
on
let's
her
see if
team
they
a
can build
like
some
certain
momentum.
amount.
I was going to say that
And
they stuck with
then
the IQ here. For
she
W7M
can
to
revive
change
them if
away
they're
from
down,
that.
or herself if
Thinking
she's
back to
down.
their execute earlier, Tim, the excellent
I don't know how to say the
offset,
first part,
plan
Doomed.
they
That's
had
the issue.
inside of
Is it
Snowmobile,
K or
which then
Kai?
failed, and the remaining
or
2 players then rotated up
something
towards
else?
Wine and got a plant down there and won the round instead. But one thing I was going to say about the IQ is you can choose not to bring it if you don't feel you want to do a full map clear.
that
If you
just
go
reminds me that I
direct
was
to
gonna
site,
tweet at
if
Chad
you feel
about
like
that.
you need an IQ, probably not. If you're running in through a breach, the last thing you want to do is turn your back to the enemy to shoot out a Valkyrie camera, but they're still going to show that respect once again. Bring along the IQ to deal with those Valk cams where they may be found.
Attacking then on to Wine this time, W7M still having to start top down. It has pretty much very quickly become the standard for a basement defence here on Chalet. Has been holding on to that top floor and just trying to burn as much time as possible. Very similar in essence to the sort of defence that you would see on Clubhouse, for example. Church and Arsenal, a site that you might be more familiar with. We had a period of time where teams tried to turtle up down in the basement here and just hold attackers at bay for as long as possible, but it just wasn't working. So we've seen this adaptation. Now then, you mentioned the W7M rush that we saw previously. They're going to be looking to get this wall open. It looks like it's going to be done for free, but they are paying due attention, due diligence. They're going to send the nade in as well to clear out the mute jammer, prevent anybody from playing in behind there as well and trying to impact trick or anything else. So that is the main breach open. It looks from GDN's movement like he's going to be heading over to the other side, maybe try and get the rear side as well. That's what you're looking for here on this site for my money. Often trying to get those defenders spinning in both directions, not knowing where the push is coming from.
He had no idea he was
Mowgli had no idea where that shot was coming from.
Casey had no idea where the shot was going to either. Not quite into the cranium of Mowgli. That wasn't on his agenda. But I was going to make a point and I completely forgot
White?
what the hell it was. It was something about the execute there. Oh, that's it. Just how clean and simple it was.
I don't know how to see
Flashing
that.
through the hole, nothing there to be able to deal with it in terms of like an ADS
Nice,
or magnets.
good.
Bit of a trade on top
Good
floor.
refrag, good.
Back and forth as Rise hits a 2K.
Evened
but
up.
the first nade went in, no response. Okay, cool. In comes the frag grenade, mute jammer gone, exothermic goes off, bish bash
Site
bosh,
is
wall is
downstairs.
open. No frills, no fancy,
Okay,
no
they know he's there.
complicated things about it. 2 players got that done between them. Absolutely
He knows
beautiful.
you're there, and he
Raz
dropped.
is
He
really
dropped through the
stepping
hatch.
up for his team here, just holding Herds at bay for another 10 seconds.
He's coming
Straight
back
back
up
up the
again.
stairs to challenge. I love this from Rise. He might just catch him on the wraparound if he's quick here. Might be able to just move in and find that kill onto Herds. He's waiting for his moment. I think he's just
No, he's going
waiting for a bit
downstairs.
of information, but Herds is equally
Well, they were gonna drone-
alive
he was
and
just about
alert
to drone
here.
him
He's
out,
gonna be
too.
sending the
Yeah,
drone
there's the
and he's
drone.
going to find Herds down there, as does a drone from Volps, and so they have got him pinpointed.
Has just chewed through a couple of drones for free there, really. Neither attempting to get
Only
away.
3 left.
Which, yeah, does really whittle W7M down to just having 2 out on the field now. 1 will be dead in someone's back pocket, actually, now I think about it. So just 2 that are potentially out, and they can't be controlled because all the live players have got dead drones in their back pocket. So they were probably set up by KZ or by JV. They do, of course, have some of the sound counts.
Yeah,
to
they're saying
help
like
out around as
KZ,
well,
like crazy,
but
only
it's
with
about
the PR.
making this play work. Another smoke coming through. I think
Nice
that might
Bibu.
have gone to the bomb chassis. That
Smoke
is so
plant.
unfortunate. Otherwise, it blocks off the single rotation they've
They're
got.
in.
But they've got to try and make
Knows
this
you're
plan
in.
happen here. Walls backing away at least for a couple of seconds. GDM finding 1 more, pushing in for the second, but it's going to be Walls getting the
Okay.
closeouts in.
Well, they
That's
took that round.
7-3.
I didn't see
And
what
that sees
happened.
them starting to now wrap things up a bit more and make that game against OXG less pressurized.
It certainly does. As we said, that's the next break point for them. That leaves them now only requiring 4 rounds against OXG. Sorry, 3 rounds against
The more
OXG
rounds they win,
in
the better
next match to get themselves
is.
into
Like,
the playoffs. So
even if they
it is
lose-
a better step forward. Another 2 rounds required, though. They need to get themselves onto 5 if they want to improve that situation further. But right now, Des, you wouldn't bet against them. They've found a bit of mojo. They've found a bit of momentum. And they really
W7M still
lean
have a
into these
timeout that they have
W7M
not
attacks.
used.
Now, Rise particularly important in that last round. 2 big kills up on the top floor. The trade onto KZ, gets himself a second and dips down into dining. Wastes a
Because
lot
even
of
if they
time.
lose in
It was
regulation,
really
the
well
more
played
rounds
from
they can
him.
win is
Well,
less
incredible
rounds
stuff.
that they
Just got the
need
Wolves
versus
have this bounce
OXG.
back on the defensive side. W7M slowed down a little bit here, really.
And I think
Give
if they
the
can get a
pace
bit of
they've
their
seen them be,
confidence back against
Gaming
W7M,
Gladiators, the pace
then
they
that'll be good for
employ
their
to
match
win a number of the attacking
against
rounds.
OXG.
I do
They
wanna see a little
performed.
bit more
I
coming
mean, they
out of
won
here.
like
And I'm not quite
7-4
sure
or
exactly
7-5
what the
against
perfect
OXG
answer
already.
is. They've gone off roaming around the map,
Meanwhile,
constantly
they
trying to deal with members of Walls and being sucked into this one-for-one
lost to
trading
W7M once
against
already,
members of Walls
3-7.
that they don't really care to use. Things like the Jaeger, the Melusi,
So-
even the Valkyrie to some degree, once the C4 has been used, is exactly the same.
I have more confidence about the next
Here we go
game.
then. Round number 9
This is the one that I was
underway
really scared
into
of
the
because
action
W7M
phase
has
we
been
go.
just
W7M
dominant.
They aren't too worried really about what's going on. I wouldn't have thought they were looking.
But they're
I would
also
think
like
at this
the-
point to
the-
maintain that unbeaten
This is like the
run,
only
but
group
it
that has
would
2
be
number
a
1
nice
seeds in
to
it.
have
And of course it
rather
has to
than
be
a
from Maj's
requirement.
group.
They're not going to be too worried if it doesn't happen, but they need to think about their attacks going forward. Obviously they're going to, have to rely on them in the best of 3s. They can't win everything on defense, and it's certainly been a bit of a struggle against Gaming Gladiators. We're seeing it here again against Wolves, and so a better performance over the next couple of rounds could be big for them. Now that KZ going to be sending in
Bounced
that
it.
nade, but as you say, doesn't find it cleanly, and Mowgli,
They're 5-0,
he can
yeah.
live
They haven't
to fight
gone to
longer
overtime in a
this
single
lively
match.
box.
He's got ADSs inside of there as well, and he dropped away there once the ADS has been burnt out. Afraid of the
What's up,
second nade
Arctics?
coming singing
Arctics?
through. That simply didn't exist. Volps starts off. Rise the first to fall here on the Jaeger.
Nice,
Is it the
Shinka.
start of a comeback? Maybe not, says Shinka, as he brings down KZ.
Managing to find something and just break the momentum that was being built by W7M there. Mowgli, he's going to be holding on under this hatch. He's got a bit of
C4.
information. Will the C4
No.
connect? No. It's just
shit.
going to be a little bit far
Wait, did he
away. I
even
think he's
blow it?
waiting for Volps to move back. The call doesn't come
No.
though, and that's going to be Volps.
He threw
able
it, but
to
he
move
didn't blow
away
it
on the
'cause
knock, and
he moved away
push
from the
can
spot.
potentially continue. JV finds P4, but there's
Nice.
a immediate trade from Mowgli. Bibu once again stepping
Mowgli
up.
and Bibu
Just really
are-
leading from the
they're
front here for Wolves. Manages to shut down
activated.
Volps. It's a 3
Good.
versus 2 at the halfway mark, Des. This has been a bloodbath in the early round.
It has, and you hope maybe now things will slow down a little bit as well. There's still a minute and 20 to play here, but Nades comes singing on down library stairs. Right idea from Wolves as they dip away. A drone's going to pursue him on down the stairs because, again, with this much time left
They
in
still
the
have a
round, you
minute.
haven't got to panic.
Oh, God,
They've
they have
got
over a
3
minute.
flashes they can burn their way through. They find one onto Shinka. Mowgli.
They both have
Bibu
really
left
low
all the
HP.
ones that stand between them. Bibu finds one. GDN coming coming in for the second as well, but he's got a 1v2 to win here. Sees a man at range and can't quite find him. Down to literally one bullet here. Mowgli and
They've got a live drone on him too. They're like yellow pinging constantly.
Two low HP members on either side of the team to bring out this 1v1.
GDN
they're so
definitely
low.
thinking
They're
about
both
the
so
potential
low.
of putting this diffuser down right now.
He
Flashbang
didn't see
goes
him.
out. He thinks he can do it under the cover, but I don't think he can. Mowgli with
sorry.
the headshot gets another
Sorry.
round for Wolves, and they've woken up dead.
Oh,
The Wolves
God.
are starting to howl, and they are on the prowl.
Showing their fangs, Tim.
Thank God.
You can tie a few of
thank
these together
fucking God.
very, very easily. Donning the pelts, doing some work. That's 4 rounds. What does that now do for our score?
Nothing different. It leaves them needing 3 rounds against OXG. It's the next one. It's when they hit 5. That's then the big difference for them. Once they hit 5, they only need 2 rounds against OXG. So right now, I'm sure that OXG are watching this one. It's going to be
Sweaty.
nervous times for them, because the thing is, OXG could actually win in regulation. They could win 7-3, and it's still not be enough for them.
All
If
Wolves have
Wolves
got to
get
do
the
is
next
us to overtime,
2
or,
rounds,
of
they
course,
qualify
regulation
no matter
when
what
it's still on
happens
the
in the
cards,
next
but
game.
3 rounds in a row. Not quite sure I believe that's going to be a thing just yet. Either way, let's see how round
If
10
they can
goes.
get the next
Kitchen
2
and
rounds.
Dining
That
will be
last
set
one
up
was
for this
way too
defense,
close.
which means, as always, you will see a lot of presence up on the top floor from the Wolves. We've spoken about, I've done it again. We keep on speaking about the teams.
We're going to have to get a counter.
I hate it so much. Please don't. We're going to see them holding up on that top floor, no doubt. You've got much more info being stacked up here as well, with the Maestro also coming along for the party. Lots of impacts on side. Of course, not to deny anything away, but more for their rotates. Despite having, of course, a couple of potential rotate creators on the team, you've got the Bayless in the back pocket of the Alibi and of the Maestro.
Casey on the thinker, straight up to the building line once again. W7M, for me, have been struggling a little bit to get inside of the building, as you know, to be established inside of there, to be happy to gain any real map control. They got control over Library last time and had to fight into sight, which was a struggle for them. But prior to that, Wolves have done a pretty good job in a number of these rounds, particularly the basement defense.
It's already
I'm
better
thinking
than the
of
first time
how
they played
they
them.
kept hold of top floor. So they're going to be looking
Yeah,
now
it's
to
crazy to me
just
that they get
build on
2
that, keep that
claymores.
confidence rolling. You know, they're happy to try and take these fights at the building line. As you can see, bullets raining out of that window. Herds, they know that he's going to be there, and I feel like Wolves have figured W7 out a little bit over the last couple of rounds.
The last couple, probably the last 4, to be honest, given how far down they were. But yep, really bouncing their way back into the game and racking up the points. Volt's now looking out towards this balcony side to try and put some pressure inside of Office itself. A couple of players working out towards Library, so they know that there's a top floor take to be done first and foremost. And think about the kind of pace that we commended W7M for earlier in their game against Gaming Gladiators. Within probably a minute and 15, they got control of the vast majority of the top floor. We've gone past that point, and some of them are still outside the building right now, Tim.
Mowgli playing that position in Office once again that we saw previously. Different operator this time. He was on the Aruni last time. Just going to have a little spray down, but likely to be forced back as this wall will be
Nice,
open.
Mowgli.
Sees his
Wow,
man,
they switched
though,
away
gets
right as
the
he killed
opener
him.
onto
Tragic.
JV. That is big for the EU side. And you can just see there, Mowgli dipping away. He knows he doesn't need to overstay his welcome, but in comes Herds dead. 1,
Nice,
2,
good.
kiss, kiss, bang, bang, though, for P4 as he manages to find the trade onto the man and leave us in a 3v3. 1 minute 10 left to go, and still there is a contest over this top floor.
We always get to this 3v3 point, and both teams sort of slow down. It's an initial flurry, and then a slow beast coming through.
That's the
Volts
drone that
stepping
just ran
across
in.
with the decoy. Now, of course,
decoy
time's
drone or
out, but it
whatever.
means to have information that someone was sat towards bathroom rotate. They've moved away at this point, all 3 of them stacked up towards Solar.
Going to be an aid coming out from Volps here. He's just trying to
Go on,
aid the push
aid.
across the top floor, but with 45 seconds left to go, W7M
They're,
might
like,
have just spent
pursuing the
too much
fight.
time doing this. KZ knows that they're stuck in the corner
Nice.
of bathroom. He goes in, but he can't
Shit,
find the
got
fight.
refragged.
Bibu manages to get the kill. GDN with the
He's not going
refrag,
for the
but it
plant.
doesn't matter as P4
He's not going for the
finds him.
plant,
It's
just stay away.
trade for
He
trade
doesn't
for
even
trade.
have
And
the
this time
diffuser.
W7M are not coming
He's
out on
25
top of them
seconds.
as they have done previously. Volps is surely going to be closed down in the master bedroom
Good.
here.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
get out of there.
waiting for somebody to tuck
He
him
doesn't
in,
have the
say
case.
goodnight and put him to sleep with 17 seconds left to go. He's searching, he's seeking, he can't find
They have a
anybody
C4
inside the
on
site. He's going to
Valkyrie.
go and collect that diffuser, so at least he has the option. But with 10 seconds, he's going to struggle to even
9
make it in
seconds.
there, let alone find himself a fight. He's
They're
going to have
probably-
to
they're
just
watching the
try
cams
and
right now, I
throw
think.
this case down on the floor. He takes out the cam in behind the bomb chassis, and indeed he will try to stick this. But here come the Wolves.
Saves his
circling.
KD.
He knew it, and he came off, and that is Wolves finding their 5th round.
It's not even
and
the
taking
site. No,
themselves
they're
one
trying to
step
take
closer
control of the top floor, and they couldn't.
Quarterfinals.
Playing it with real discipline there at the end as well.
Damn.
Wolves, one player
That
a
was
mile
very
away down
disciplined.
towards
I'm really
bar and
proud of
getting
them
the
for
other
that. They
down
used to
West
struggle
main,
with
and there's
that.
just no way Volts can chase either one down in time.
Okay,
Just playing
they
it with
win the
patience,
next
waiting for when
round,
they know
they
the
are
diffuser
qualified.
will be going down and responding. But at
Oh,
5
they're
and
taking their
5,
timeout
Tim,
now.
we might not be having
37 have taken their
conversations
timeout.
about the number of rounds that Wolves have got here. We
One
could
more.
just see them through
Oh.
off the back of this game.
Who are they
One
talking
more.
to?
That's the number of rounds that Wolves need. One more. If they get themselves onto 6, it guarantees them overtime. It guarantees them 1 point, which will put them 4 points ahead of OXG and out of reach. They will be
They
the
literally- they just need
third
one
EU
round.
team
One single
safely
round.
into the playoffs.
It'll be a bit of
And
a
they're
kick for
qualified.
W7M as well. Not that it matters. I mean, they're qualified in first place, and no one is taking that away from them. They'll have also had the best record in the group still. But to say you had the perfect group,
That little thing, isn't there?
that's 6-0. You want to be the team that says we had a flawless group stage. That's how dominant we are, and we're here to go on and win the whole thing.
From
What
Arch
I love
Smiling?
is we haven't heard Wolves like win around
Good.
there. That's just Bibu shouting.
One
throughout the
round-
venue. I can hear it in my ears.
This round
even though it's
or
through
the
microphone,
next
headset,
one.
all
They
the
just
rest
need
of it.
one. They need to get
Just
to 6.
Noise. It's great.
The thing is, they ride
then
in
they
that
get
at the
a
minute
point.
as well. They ride in that
They'll
energy
have
and that
8
passion.
points,
They
which
know,
means the next
they
team that
absolutely
they're
100% know that 6 rounds
like
does it for
fighting
them.
against
And
will
they've
only be
just
able to
won
get
the
a
last
max of
1,
7
2,
points.
3, 4, 5 in a row, Des.
Yep.
They are absolutely flying right now. The question is, can they now do what nobody else has been able to do?
Yeah, they just need to
What
get to
does this
6
do to our
rounds
opinions
at
of
any
Wolves
point.
if they're the team that
If it
can
ends,
get the win against W7M?
6-8
Well, after
or
yesterday's
6-7.
7-3, it
No,
definitely starts to show
6-8
that Wolves can wake up. For
or
a time, though, it looked
7-8,
dire. It looked like W7M were going
then
to landslide this game. They were up 5-0.
they're
Tim.
qualified.
And Wolves have bounced their way back step by step, admittedly being on the defensive side, helping out a little bit. And probably in part thanks to that Nomad ban that we spoke about. They're being given a lot of freedom to move around the map as they please, where W7M aren't fighting over a bit of map and then air jobbing it off.
Because
so they
OXG
can
only has
rotate
4
back
points right
through it.
now, and they can
Instead,
only get
they can't
7.
commit to having a player there 24/7,
And
so Wolves can retake lost
Wolves are
ground if they
at
so
7,
desire.
so
And
if
you're
they get
seeing that
1
coming through in
point
spades here.
out of
The
this, out
early
of the
round
possible
aggression
3
we keep on
points,
speaking about. The
then
mid-round
they
2v2 trades
will
that
have
keep on
8, and
coming out
OXG
as well.
can't
It's
catch
just
them.
whittling down the attackers. And I
Yeah,
keep
this
on
is the last
saying it,
defender round, then they go to
defenders are very
overtime.
happy to lose things like their Valkyrie and their Jaeger if it means you're removing, say, a Finker and a Sledge from the other side, because
Right,
you're
yeah,
taking
wait.
away those
No,
nades.
2
the
more?
Gon 6,
2
the
more.
bigger guns. It's absolutely worth it for the defenders.
Because it's
It's all
5-5,
about that
so
utility.
they get 6
and
on each
Wolves
side.
have taken W7M's game the way that they were making it difficult for them outside
They even
out in the
continue
map.
vers-
And
Yeah,
they've just
because they have to win
basically
7-5.
reversed it and done exactly the same. Shinka's going to take a chunk of
Or it
damage
goes
at
to
the beginning of the
overtime.
round there,
6-6
so
is
needs
overtime.
to be cautious. I think he just deployed a smoke
But
canister
if
as
Wolves
well,
get
maybe
6,
feeling
then-
that there was
Oh,
going
he
to be
looked
a push
away.
coming. That's unfortunate
Oh, the
timing for
timing.
Volps there. Probably takes the
That's
head
unfortunate
off the
timing for
Jaeger of
Bibu, too. He
Bibu
almost
there if
coulda
he
got him.
stays for a second longer, but unable to find him on the second peak. Herds is working the angle from downstairs. We've seen this a few times. You can open both floors up straight into sight from the basement.
I want to say it just got zapped by an ADS, you know. I didn't hear it, but if I saw the kind of little
Ooh.
sign of it going
Bibu
off,
took
and
a
Bibu
lot
there
of damage
taking
there.
a chunk from below. Don't know where it would have been soaked up by an ADS,
They
but it was.
traded?
Now a
Okay.
1-for-1 trade. As
P4
I
and,
believe that was P4 looking to
KZ
try and
just
get out of
traded?
the doorway, for example, and trading with KZ. Again, totally worth. The Alibi had already deployed the shield. She'd already done all she needed to and got
Yeah,
a kill
taking the
onto a
Finka out. The Finka with the
Green operator
LMG,
to take.
that's
Now
a really
those 2
good
frag
pick.
grenades are also offline.
Good
The way
trade.
that Wolves have been
Ooh,
able
the
to
nades.
consistently
Oh!
take
Ah,
the
the
finger
timing.
out of the game has been fantastic for them. Volks
Nice.
manages to get Bibu,
Shit,
GDN
somebody else
onto
got
Mowgli, but
2 kills
Shinka
at the
comes
same
in
time.
with one of his own onto Herds, 2 versus 3, and again one of these mad flurries in the mid-round. It just shows how quick and aggressive the game has been. 3 versus 1 as W7M are seeking that 6th round.
Wow,
They
what?
want the
You didn't see
opportunity
him
to
there.
close this game out
Okay.
and to stay unbeaten.
So now-
Volps, he finds the kill from behind the defensive.
Now, W7M, if they win the next round, then they win 7-5. Which means they take all 3 points, and Wolves don't get any points. If Wolves win the next round, it goes 6-6, and then it's overtime. Wolves are qualified if it goes 6-6. And then they continue until one team gets 8 points.
7 and 5, or Wolves take us through to overtime, and in doing so, punch their ticket to the playoffs on Friday.
That's it.
That
one
was
way or
pretty
another,
chaotic,
you know
yeah.
that, one of
Whoever,
those
it was
teams is gonna
GDN
go
that jumped in somewhere, I think on the
absolutely
path room,
mad
and he
when
got
this
2
one
picks,
finishes.
which was
But
really
there
unfortunate.
is at least 3 minutes left to go yet. We're going to be heading downstairs. It's going to be wine and stock. Last time it took big effort from Rise up on the top floor. He was pushed, he was prodded, he was poked, but he would not move. He managed to get himself 2 kills before dropping away, and it was a big,
They still get a point for
play
overtime.
Wolves.
Yes,
They're
that's
gonna
it. So
need
if
the
Wolves
same
win
sort of
this round, they
gargantuan
are
effort
qualified
here to
for
keep
the rest of the
W7M at
playoffs.
bay, I think. Going to have P4. He's been out in
Regardless
a lap.
of
He's
how,
been
even if they
popping
lose,
those goo
if they
mines
lose
about, and
versus
then he's gonna get
OXG, it
himself
doesn't
back
matter. They're
into side,
qualified
but there's
because
still plenty
OXG won't
going
be able
on
to get
here.
enough
I think
points.
Bibu's going to position a mirror inside of Dining, I would guess. They've done this previously to try and hold on to
Obviously,
that
they
hatch a bit
want
more.
the full
This is
win,
what I often
you know,
talk
but
about. If
all
you're
they
gonna
need
play
is
the
one
hatch
round to
open, I think
qualify
it's
for
the right
playoffs.
thing to do. You can prevent the trench-sided plant, but you have to hold on to Dining if you're going to do that, and that's exactly what Bibu is looking to do.
Here we go then.
It's,
Let's see if Wolves
it's
can
3
hold on to
possible
just one
points
more
per
round
match.
and make this one
Overtime
really count.
or regulation
W7M
win is 3
take those
points.
3 points. This
And
time
0
around,
for
things are
losing.
changing up a little bit. Volts is going across the plane. on the Fink,
Regulation,
whereas
or
KZ
sorry,
almost
overtime win
exclusively
is 2
playing that
points, and then
operator.
the other team gets
Instead here,
1
he's on
for
the hard
losing
breach,
in
so it
overtime.
screams to me, Tim,
So they only
very
need the 1.
execution heavy. 2 hard breaches on side.
Point.
They've got the Thatcher on side. They've got the smokes of the gridlock. They want a little bit of flank lockdown as well, I think, because they haven't got that Nomad. But for me, the most important thing is most definitely those smokes.
KZ looking to get immediately aggressive in towards connector there. It's
Yeah,
actually
the
forced
gridlock and
Shinka back deeper
with
into
2
sight as
smokes.
well. But still a number of W7M stacking up towards the rear, and this could be that dreaded split push where they just try to put pressure from both sides. It was Herds previously against Gaming Gladiators who was
Valkyrie.
able to stroll on in and get himself a double and really open things up for them. But it looks like Wolves might just be ready for that. They've got the mirror on the rear side, and the EMP grenade goes out to try and deal with any utility protecting that, whilst KZ from the main breach manages to get Shinka. Herds takes down Bibu. W7M start rolling, but P4 with a very important kill there just to try and slow down the onslaught. But here comes KZ. He's just walking into sight. He's using the mirror window, and he knows that there's one inside of blue. It's going to be hard left as he goes in there, but it looks like they've just escaped. He finds Legion. It is too easy as he just walks through.
Mowgli found those 2 big kills that still keep the dream alive for Wolves, mind you. JV, Volts, opposite ends of the map right now, looking to push their way through. The mirror window now returned to possession of the defenders, should be helping them out a little bit. That sound cue should be enough to let them know that
1
JV
minute.
is circling
1 defender
around.
upstairs.
You've still got 1 playing on the upstairs by the looks of it as well for the side of Wolves here, just waiting to see what the next move from W7M is. Out comes one of those smokes from JV, as mentioned. Track's still in the back pocket, but is pushing through to Connector. The 2 of them now rejoining up, connecting ironically, and starting to go in for the plant. But do they know about this one going down? I'm not sure they do. They've got to find a response. 1 coming down main stairs, 1 coming in through blue, and it's Mowgli who will take the first challenge.
It feels like they've got such a good handle on where these last players are coming from. Rise does try to get down the main stairs, but they push at the same time. It's
Yes!
Rise, it's
Woo!
Mowgli. He's got that final kill. Quad kill on the round.
Let's
Mowgli
fucking
goes
go!
through and will be able to disable
Let's
the
fucking
active diffuser,
go!
and that is going to be the round for Wolves.
They are
We're
qualified.
Going to overtime, Des.
You can
Holy
see their reactions
fucking
as well.
shit, I'm
That
so happy.
means
I'm
so
sorry,
much
Nova.
to these
Nova's
boys.
like, why are
That
you
moves all the pressure away from that Nets game against
Oh,
Oxygen.
that was
But there's still
terrifying.
potentially 3
One
more
of you's
rounds to
defusing,
go
right?
here, Tim. And what a sweetener that'll put on the end of the group stage for
Holy
Wolves
shit.
if they can be the only team to hand a defeat to W7M.
Well, it's massive, isn't it,
Yeah.
in terms of, you know, just that mentality of going in, knowing that you're the ones. Let's not forget, you know, these teams could come back together later in the tournament, Des. Imagine a semi-final coming in against W7M, and it's, you know, teams that W7M have just rolled over versus coming in against Wolves who've pushed them all the way and taken points away from them, who've beaten them, coming in against the only team to have got that W from you. It could have a big impact later in the tournament.
Oh, it absolutely could, because now it shows that gods can bleed. It's like at the end of the movie 300. They took the
Damn.
spear, it cuts the cheek of the god. Well, not god, but
See, all
Morty.
those people being
Yeah,
like,
well,
why would you
fine.
take,
You're at the end of the film,
why
though.
would you take
I do, yeah.
W7M to Chalet?
There's something of Persia. What
Well,
was
because
it?
Wolves are also
I
good
think
on
that's, I think,
on Chalet.
Yeah, I think you'd reply to it as like a god emperor. That somebody
Probably,
who's
We'll call it a king. 'Cause it sounds
Yeah,
more
basically,
insane.
like,
Okay.
they want to
Take the
win
king lead
still,
either way.
you know,
By taking the
because
spear,
that's
exactly
why
what
they're
Wolves
here.
have just done to W7M. A small tarnish on what would have
They
otherwise been a
can't get
perfect
first.
record.
Wolves
Here
can't
in
get first no
overtime,
matter what
W7M
happens
on the
because
attack once
W7M
again.
have too many
So,
points.
momentum continues here for Wolves, where they keep
but
on doing the same thing they've done for
it's
the
like
entire
the points are, it's kind of irrelevant now, like in actuality, because they qualified for the quarterfinals now. So they still want to win, but Wolves are qualified no matter what.
You know, it's
And
never an easy one
if
to lose
OXG
those, but
OXG could win the next game 7-0, and Wolves will still be qualified, and OXG is still going home no matter what.
beautiful team play, the way they've pushed and coordinated together to make Volps's life as difficult as possible. Now then, Mowgli, he's right up there at the point of ingress, but he's going to have to dip away as those flashbangs come in. Rise is going to be taken out by Volps, and W7M. Looks like they might be a bit angry here, Des.
Maybe just slightly. Somewhat scorned, but never punished. 2 nade kills coming through in the round, and Herds has got one more flying in towards Library there. Won't quite catch the man that is tucked in. The question is, do they know that he's still there? It looks like they do. That is a filthy shot, KC. No way can you land that. P4 goes down.
Damn.
1 left standing.
W7M is pissed.
Come back with a vengeance in overtime here.
Like, nobody takes us to overtime. Fuck you.
A flawless round.
Certainly looking like it might happen, but no, Shinka steps out, gets himself one
All to
onto
go,
JV, and that leaves him in a 1v4. You know he's going to fight to the very last here.
This
He's
is
trying
the
to keep
only
hold
overtime
of top
that
floor. It is
W7M
an
have been
attack
taken
onto
to
Dining
in
here.
all
There
the
should
group
be an
stage.
opportunity for W7M
Oh,
to
nice,
get
Shinka.
down. What a
Shinka,
play.
what a 180. I'm proud of you.
Shinka sits
They're planting
down,
though.
1v3, but
They're
W7M,
planting.
they've got their eyes on the prize there. They're going to go in and get that diffuser down.
Oh!
It's just too late
Oh, that
to
was like
have
a
an impact
half a second
on
too
whether it's
late.
planted or not. And
I mean,
now
that
he's
was a good
working
effort.
against the clock. He's working against bullets. KZ shuts him down, and that's going to be W7M taking the first overtime round. And I often wonder, Des, what happens if you whack a hornet's
one of these
nest with a
bullets will
stick.
hit.
And I think we might have just seen.
You also just found out exactly what Finker can do. Hold down left mouse button, just walk forwards, W.
Jesus Christ. I hope
swing
that
the mouse,
Ubisoft does something
find
about the
the elder
LMGs.
holder.
They're so
It's just
boring.
ridiculous, but okay, fair enough. W7M get the round on the board. One more, and they take this 8-6. It's still going to be an undefeated win. It's a line, no doubt, that we'll use plenty, or undefeated streak, sorry. It's a line we will use a lot on Friday. But again, it's that small blemish on the record where Wolves were cheeky enough to take away at least 1 point for them. And let's not count Wolves out of this just yet. They can still bounce back here and make it go all the way to 15.
It's the crack, isn't it? It's the crack that starts to show that you think, right, this team has a weakness. This team can be beaten. It can have things taken away from it. And honestly, I think everybody else in the tournament probably needed that to a degree. You know, just to know that W7M are not completely invulnerable to being stretched, to being beaten, to having things taken from them. We're going to have W7M defending bar and gaming. Could be our final round on Chalet. They did get the last round, so it leaves them 7-6. It is a best of 3 rounds in overtime. So
That
they
was a
only need
comeback,
to win
yeah.
2
That
of
was
them.
great.
So this would, of course, be the second. It looks like they're going to be stacking up towards
They were
that
down
office and
0-5,
master side.
weren't they?
Last time around,
So they
we
got
saw KZ playing in the library corridor,
6 rounds in a
making
row, or
nuisance of himself. But look at this aggression.
5 rounds and
Hertz is
then
there.
a
He's
6.
ready for
Yeah,
that
5
challenge
rounds,
as soon
and
as they
then
come up the stairs.
it was 6-5.
Spoke a lot about the Veroni
Or sorry,
lately as
5-6,
well in
and
terms
then they
of
won
the difference
the
in that
6th.
versus playing with the Mark 14. Because of the extra juice that Finker gives these days, it makes it 3 or 4 shots often with the Mark 14 rather than the 2 or 3 that it used to be. So Veroni's really making the comeback, and to be fair, I kind of moved away from the Veroni when we saw the ammo in the clip go
It's
down
funny
as well, and I
because
thought,
the
no way they're
casters were
playing that
talking
anymore.
about how it's an attacker-sided map, and how like Wolves were kind of failing because they because they weren't winning any of their attacking rounds, and then W7M also won like none of their attacking rounds.
On the drones, just ahead of P4 giving, and you can see it at his feet there. Look at the aggression coming in from Mowgli because he knows that he can.
Nice.
That is an absolutely
Take him to
beautiful
15, let's do it.
example of how droning should work on entry. Mowgli gets another. This
Mowgli's
is the
fucking
Mowgli that we
activated
know
right now.
from EUL. He's just finding kill
And
after
Bibu.
kill.
Bibu's so
Bibu
good.
leaves him now in a 4v1. We're not even at the halfway mark.
All the way to 15, Tim. It feels like
Then
that's
I think
exactly
they
where
have
we're
to-
headed. Shinka's in, getting the plant down, and Hertz
Do
is
they
left
switch sides,
alone.
or do they
I
attack
picked
again?
up this Roni, but I don't think he can do it all with one gun. Hits a nice headshot onto Mowgli.
might.
One more on the front door, but not going to find his man as the grenade comes tumbling round. He's got about 25 seconds to make this one work. Otherwise, it's far too late, and he will not be able to stick that diffuser.
Hertz, as you say,
Once
needs to be
that
very
yellow
careful
number
about
hits
how he
7,
takes
it's
these
too late
fights,
for him
given
to
that he's got
defuse,
such a
even if
small
everyone's
mag
dead.
capacity. He can't go through 2 or 3 gunfights.
So he only
without
has,
a
like,
reload. That
13
much is for
seconds
sure.
to
He's got
find
10
these
in
3
the chamber
players
at the minute.
and
Needs to
start
be aware
defusing.
of that and take these one at a
'Cause
time.
he-
That's
I mean,
the
he's
first.
killing 'em,
And there's
but-
the reload. That leaves him now in a 1v2, but he's got about
Yeah.
6
Ooh,
seconds
nice.
to make it happen. Dashes into
Jesus
Bieber,
Christ.
who
The
is
full
just
15.
waiting, arms open, ready to take him down.
This is the
Wolves,
last round, no
they
matter who
level
wins.
things up,
No
and
matter what
Des,
happens, this
we're
is the last
going
round.
all the way to 15.
Been waiting all week to hear you say that one, Tim. I know you've been trying to hide it away, but this game more than deserves it. W7M flicking onto that attack for the last time, and Wolves, they're the ones on the defense. Kitchen and Dining going to be where the final showdown takes place. And I said it before we got started in the game. These are the top 2 teams from their respective region. Rank 1.
Yeah, but
from
at least the
EU,
next
rank
game doesn't
1
matter as
from
much.
the Brasileiro, from LATAM, coming out of well, not really quite out of LATAM, because arguably
Like,
Facebook,
fine
that's
if
why it's
they
all in
exhaust
the
themselves on
properly
this
finished.
one
But
because
look
they're
at the stage
qualified
play.
already.
In a best-of-1 format, it stacks up and the story sounds
I feel
cool,
bad
so
for
bear
the
with me and
teams
go
because of
for
how
it.
hot it
This
is
is the
there.
kind of matchup that, in my
They all look
opinion,
like they're
would make
just
a
drenched in
fantastic
sweat.
semi-final. Arguably even a grand, because for me, it was
I would
W7M
be
versus
unhappy.
Astralis.
Normally
have
they
gone
have
home.
like hand
I wanna
warmers.
know,
Now they all have
still looking
towels.
for who's going to be that challenger to the W7M name?
Well, this is, you know, we've got to remember, obviously there's been such a focus on Wolves and getting through to the playoffs and everything else that you almost overlook how exciting and entertaining this game has been. We've saved one of the very best matchups to the very end of the group stages. This has been phenomenal. And like you say, going through to those knockout stages now, I would love to see these two go up against each other.
Thinking
later
about
on
thanks
in
for
the
the 17
tournament.
months.
What an amazing matchup. If they could maintain this sort of pace, this sort of level throughout. Bibu, look at him. It's round 15 and he's looking for peaks.
That feels like a real classic ranked spawn peak as well. Someone comes running up the snow ramp on the outside. You get a wonderful headshot angle, and it's pew pew pew. Down goes a player or two, hopefully. Call coming in from JV92, phoning home here and hoping to find a way to get through to the end of this round with the 2 points in his
Gallus,
team's
what's
back
up? Thanks for
pocket.
subbing.
It's
Welcome
down
to the
hopefully this one's
armory.
also going to swing him on the south side.
Thank you.
Coming out the bottom of Piano, there are 2 players lurking around here. It's Mowgli, and I believe it was Rise next to him as well on the Thorn. The 2 of them for now just holding firm, not forgetting again, we are on Kitchen and Dining, but this hole on the top floor needs to be cracked by W7M first.
It certainly does. Mowgli has been very difficult for them to move from office. They haven't had too much joy. He's got kills every time he's been in there so far. So that, for me, keep an eye on it at home. That's one of the key
I don't think she can
areas
lean
of this
now.
fight, is how
I think
do
the
they deal
Observer
with
does
Mowgli
that.
in office. They'll quite often go and open the wall.
Just like how they can't look
consider
around while
that enough,
diffusing,
hope that's enough to
and
force
the
him back
Observer
out, but it
sometimes will
rarely
move the
is.
camera,
He's got
and
Rise
it looks like the
supporting
person
him
is
as well.
moving their view,
P4
but
up
they're
there.
not.
Mowgli out of the window. I just called it. So
by the way.
important in and around that area. Taking down KZ. Big entry for Wolves. Advantage EU
Calm down, Tim. It's just the entry.
in this game.
Whew. That's a bit of a throat there, Tim. I was just getting choked up, a bit emotional. EU getting the entry in such a critical round.
You doing
Nice.
something
Oh,
good.
they got the second one.
Damn,
Tim. I can't
make
hold
them
together
bleed.
anymore.
Let's do this.
No, we'll see how they do.
Don't
Seriously,
get
I'm not
don't
actually
get
that bad. I was
overconfident though.
something in my
Oh, your
throat.
butt's sticking out. Your
Here we
butt's
go,
sticking
JD
out.
stepping through.
Your butt's
Backside,
sticking
shoot
out.
the booty, but can't quite find the man. Rise lives for at least another day. What?
I give up. Right. I give up. 5 versus 3. We stand with 1 minute left to go. JV's working across this top floor. He's trying to find kills, trying to find anything at this point in time, but there's just nothing to be gained. Rise, he is low health, but still hanging on to this top floor. Him and Mowgli are not giving it up.
Mowgli!
With
a fire drop
but
shot!
able to take down the Dokkaebi, and
Oh
Mowgli
my
is
God.
just absolutely phenomenal this game. GD shuts him down. Leaves us now in a 4v2. 40 seconds left to go. GD needs to push himself
40
into Piano.
seconds
Here.
and they
He
have
needs
to
to
plant.
take the ground that he's just gained by getting that kill. But Rise, he could spoil this party. He knows they're still pushing. He's
Okay, one
going
in on the window.
nowhere
Oh, boy.
until GDN shuts him down.
I thought for a second there he'd die out to the razor bloom at the end, but no, holds on for now. I was going to say, Tim, the problem is they're in this 2v4, but they haven't got top
They're
floor
not even on
control.
site.
They've got to
Site's
work their way
downstairs.
across the top and then down from there as we get to this last 15
Bibu
seconds.
runs the
You've got
stairs.
Bibu ratting it out at the bottom of these solar stairs. They find one, swings for the second, can't quite find
I love when
the
their
man,
body dies
but
and they just,
Volts
like,
has got 7
headbutt the
seconds
wall.
to go. It
It's so
looks to be
funny.
like Wolves will be the first team to
Wow.
hand W7M their first defeat here at the Berlin Major as they hit the
Wow.
closing
Let's
shot. They
fucking
take the 2
go.
points and guarantee that spot
Damn.
of
The
play.
cheers go up from
All
Wolves
they
as
needed
they
was, like,
celebrate not
1
just a
point,
win
and they were
against
like, you know what?
W7M, but their confirmation.
What a game. What a
in the
fucking game. That was
playoffs
so
on
much fun to
Friday,
watch.
And maybe beyond.
Mowgli, do the
Who
jump.
knows?
Where's
This
Mowgli?
is a
Here it
team that
comes.
has the ability to
Yay.
go for a good run into this. Mowgli's
Every time.
becoming a textbook celebration coming out there.
Isn't he just? He's
What a
absolutely
game.
loving it. There's plenty more to talk about this game and, of course, the upcoming one against OXG. We'll cut out to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break it down some more for you.
Wow. That was really fucking impressive. Holy shit. They were down 0-5. Jesus Christ. I know, what a ride. Holy shit. Whoo! Okay, well. Next game is versus OXG, but like I just said, it's... the results are just for fun, I guess. Did the win actually boost their standings in the quarterfinals? I think the way that they organized the quarterfinals... So no, because here's the thing. Their group... So there's 4 groups, one for each region, right? Or no, sorry. 4 groups and 4 teams per region, right? So Group A has these 4 teams. It's NA, EU, NIP, LATAM, and APAC. The top 2 teams advance to the quarterfinals, so the green ones, and then the bottom 2 are, like, grouped, like they didn't make it out of the group stage. So this, they now have 9 points, so they're confirmed for, this should be green, but they're probably updating it right now. So W7M have 16 points because they've only, that's their
Nice.
first
And
loss.
from Arjan Mulganye.
That's their first loss this entire, out of all 6 games, they've only had that one single loss. They've destroyed everyone in regulation, basically. So even if Wolves win the next game, they'll only have 11 points, so they'll still be in second no matter what. But OXG, like I said, they can only get a max of 7 points now, and Wolves have 9, so OXG is out. And then the quarterfinals, I think that they use these standings to put people in their, like, matchups or whatever. Like, they don't put first versus first. I think they'll do, like, first, second, but there's no way for Wolves to get first, so it doesn't really matter. Can they show up in meme battle and not worry about it? I mean, no, they need to still, like, play and take it relatively seriously. There's various rules that Ubisoft has around, like, what you can do, essentially. There's no lower bracket for the major. There will be probably for, like, the invitational and stuff like that, but for the major, no. Stressful time. I know, Jesus, these overtime games. God. That was really stressful. I still want to know what was going on. With Bibu. What is the clip?
Group A cross Group D, Group B cross Group C, and the first of Group A plays against the second of Group D, the first of Group B plays against the second of Group C. It's like a regular seeding.
Got it. Hang on, I'll put it on stream. I just gotta switch my scene. Hang on. Wait, not that one. This, and then this, and then that.
Group A cross Group D, Group B cross Group C,
Oh, my
and
camera's blocking myself. My camera's blocking my camera. This is old Anne. Hi, old Anne.
Group A cross Group D, Group B cross Group C, and the first of Group A plays against the second of Group D, the first of Group B plays against the second of Group C. It's like a regular seeding.
Got it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You sure?
Yeah. I got it.
Why? No, I don't believe you. Why is that voice?
I definitely didn't understand anything.
Yeah,
You said Group A cross Group D, first of Group A plays the third of Group Z. There's Group Q plays Group Banana.
Okay,
Like, I don't know what the fuck.
There's nothing I haven't seen before.
Oh man. In the olden times when Cassidy was named McCree. We don't talk about those days anymore. Let's check on Nova. How's Nova doing? Great. So cute. Man. The old mic, old everything. Oh, man. Sorry, I was just texting for Maj, telling her congratulations and all. Wow. Okay, man, that was a lot of stress. And now suddenly a lot of like, okay, great, relief. Yeah, see, they have 20 minutes before the next game. Bruh. Wait, what? It just says I deleted that clip, but I didn't do anything. Did I delete that? How did that happen? Did I do that by accident? It's the bot? Oh, I thought the bot... I thought it would say the bot. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I've never noticed that before. DB's bad. Okay, well now what do? We have 20 minutes until the next match starts. Snatch cleaning? Critical launcher update. Okay, you got it. Good filler for the next 18 minutes. Watch the bid. Are you okay? Do you need us to send someone? Oh yeah, we can see the other, what is it? Has their game started? I don't know, I'm getting an ad.
Nice.
All right. Yes, of course, Luke. Of course. They won 8-7. Yeah, 8-7. Full 15 rounds, but they got 2 points. So they're officially qualified for the playoffs, I guess is the word. Okay. Well, let's do this while we wait for the next game to start. Maybe I should do... hang on, let me try to set this up so that people aren't like, this isn't R6. Oh, Phase G2 is starting too. I could put that just in the corner while we organize. Just gotta switch the...
The intensity of what this can offer, which is first seed, second seed.
Yes.
You...
Okay, does that work?
I don't know if the full system's been released.
Yeah.
I think it might have been
Great.
in either the event guide or the rulebook. I don't want to quote anything in case it's
Oh,
not.
that was the
Yeah,
band
I have
page. I was
seen
like,
what it
why
is
does that sound-
supposed to be, but
Well,
I'm
let's
not
not
sure
say
if it's
anything.
public.
Yeah, because there's always, you know,
We're not Dez.
we are not Des.
We don't leak.
We don't leak.
No.
We just don't leak. Wamai is the final removal. Kaid and Flores. The limitations here brought in by
Doki's having some issues. I don't know if you see that. He's worrying. Started to go panic mode a little bit
I
there.
think Doki has a lot of issues.
Being small
He
and
has a
vulnerable.
lot of issues.
So-
Damn,
He's
man.
taking that in his stride. Apparently, he's
What?
the small king.
Yeah, he's a small king.
Will he wear the crown? The first place crown in this?
Hope that
Oh.
the crown is fitted for his head in that case.
Well, it was actually Ben was the one that was wearing the crown.
That's
Citizen,
true, yes.
In the fantastic video GT did, which included them in a limo.
Yeah, they came here in style. Used the limo for about 200 meters.
It was.
I think that's Doki. I
They
think that's
got
what
out
they
of
were talking
groups.
about.
They
I
got
don't know what was going on. I didn't see.
Next up,
It
I
seems I
mean,
can't say that.
Carlos, you need to get a bigger limo.
Or a helicopter. Just
Or a helicopter.
How many
Them
how many
repel
windows
into
can
the
you all
venue.
watch at the
A
same time?
helicopter, a stretch helicopter. That's the plane.
a propeller plane.
Face Clan, starting their on attack here onto the side of Oregon. And as you said, Oregon is a good map for G2. They like to
Four?
structure
Good.
themselves around here, and I'm
Good,
kind of
because
curious
that's how
what
many we
phase
have.
we're going to get.
Perfect.
We had a little bit of a back and forth, and wow, good thinker still being on the board. You assume it's going to be a little bit of a proponent, but to be fair, whoever's in the hands of Cyberzera is usually something that can end well for them. The starting site is one that's often seen as a bit of an offside. Obviously, you've got the stretch kitchen with meeting, which is a bit of a lockdown. You'll see a lot of teams will go for that plant onto the stage. They had Austin for a second, which entirely set as a stage plant, but then swapped off to something where it's this. Look at Astro already in on the door, wanting to put pressure onto Split. They're ready and raring to go. Cyberzera is getting some drone intel. I think we might see something quick in a second.
Yeah, this might just be an impact that hits right onto the barricade, and they will be pushing in double here. Nope, seems like a Gun 6 might be on the board.
I think
Still
they
getting some
barbed.
drone information. They probably just want to get as many people ready to go for the push as quickly as possible.
That's it. There's a barbed wire underneath. They're
I have
trying
some
hit
ideas
both
to
at
make the
same
recess
time.
thing
There's
less
the break over the top. In fact,
impossible.
the combo comes around the corner. Souls goes for the swing, but it's Brano, Citizen, and Brano, and Brano! A triple kill and a woo from the other side of the room. They read it. You saw a yellow ping just come out just before through the side of the soft. The audio gave the giveaway. Oh, just saw the side of a very wide German helmet, but they couldn't quite get the full connection. The kit is cold inside Split. Cyber is cold as well.
The mood is definitely there for the side of G2 as they get the first round flawlessly. And now headed on to the next very soon. Probably will be downstairs, or might actually be... Oh no, it's going to be... No, okay. They were thinking about laundry supply, but it's going to be the dorms and hall to come instead. And let's see if there's going to be another quick round for
Did I
FaZe there. They saw an
make that
opportunity,
scene?
they went for it,
Yes.
they got
Yeah, I
shut down,
deleted all those ones.
unfortunately,
I'm gonna
by
make new
them.
ones.
Now G2 leads.
to locate and defuse as many bombs
G2.
as they can.
quick opener, but you can only really have an opener that quick if FaZe tried to do the same thing. They thought they'd read into a strategy, really wanted to go off with a pace, and luckily there was the ping and the collection of G2 to very quickly respond. They very quickly got the read on what was kind of happening around Split. They repositioned a couple of players into the back line of Kitchen. Brano was obviously tucked into that corner as he was before, and then we also saw the Jaeger around, oh, the Jaeger at the end, sorry. There was someone else that was around Zulu before that slip away.
Bomb located by attackers.
So, reinforcements being set up around the shower, and also impact holes for rotation. Citizen might be playing there himself, or possibly Virtue is still setting up some of these keeper barriers.
Attackers are
Just
moving
provide a
to
bit of
defuse the
security
bomb.
from those wide stairs to ensure that if you need to rotate back, you don't instantly get taken out. It's a bit of a different angle that needs to be held. Start looking to go very quickly towards the actual bedroom there. Upside down now. What's that door? Not quite sure what he's looking to go for here.
I think
Potentially
Alamau.
games.
It's
Alamau's way too far out.
Yeah, he's gone around with the breach. There's Doki getting the opener. They had the soft. That's what it threw onto Trophy there, the angle, but they've pulled themselves back. Cyber Zero gone. The longer you can keep Cyber out of the game. Hey, there's the pickup. He wasn't upside down to Bell to find the kill, but he was happy to go straight forward towards it. Brings a very quick response. The smoke is off the table. The 6th Brazilian from this server is removed.
He has been indeed. The Brazilian that's playing on G2. A lot of Brazilians that have made it through to playoffs. 3, of course, Latam teams. Then we have XAT, who carry along 3 Brazilians, and G2 with Alamau. So it's basically almost 4.
Hello?
4 teams.
Are you saying it's another full LATAM?
It could be another full Latam like finals coming through.
Hey, he's done well this time. Don't take
That's
that away from
definitely true.
GT.
No, I'm not taking it away. We've got 3 teams going to quarters. Who would
Des
have
will
guessed?
cry.
Oh, either way. FaZe, they got an entry
Mobile is tough, yeah.
after they lost one, but now he's taking Alamau off the board. Brazilian with some skills like their own. Or some smoke canisters as well that cannot be used right now. What to do now is find a small king and his minions that will be supporting him.
They have themselves a little bit of a stretch.
Camden,
Pop.
thanks for the 50 months.
He's on
Briggs, thanks for the
barricade.
93.
Virtue is just going to try and hold off now for a little bit. They still have some extra room from the swing with the one tucked onto the close wall. Cameraman, he's with the Banshee that he gets on the backside. There is obviously now the push around the corner, but it's Doki in front of it. Instantly stop it. Swing round to meet them. Bullets up. Top of white stairs, pre-fires the angle. They're able to find one inside Pip very quickly. Virtue has another response. It's very well played, as he said. Yep, the flank on the far side. G2 aren't leaving anything to chance. They're making sure that as soon as they get a whiff of what FaZe are doing, they're meeting them at the engagement.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as the side is starting to be attacked by the players of FaZe, G2 is there to make short work of them. And with that, the 2-0 on the board now. Laundry Supply will finally be on the cards, as I have been alluding to that side twice now. Doki is keeping score between Cyber and himself. Just to find out who the true king will be.
I mean, you know, relax.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Listen,
many
Cyber,
bombs.
when you're one of the greatest players of the game,
Yep,
you have some people want to swing for the king.
that's what I want to
People
do.
want to swing for the king, and
It's a low swing, though.
it's a low swing from Doki, but sometimes those hits are the ones
They
that hit
do
the
hurt.
hardest.
They definitely can hurt. Now, FaZe in that last round needs a little bit more patient. We're trying to work a bit more together. And weren't going as quickly as they did before, but you still got to say they lost someone quite early. There was still some solo plays coming through. It's not quite the same FaZe that we've seen throughout the rest of the tournament so far.
5 seconds left.
Still, early is the sort of proposition of this game at this point. G2, I think my favorite thing so far, as I've alluded to before, is that they're just kind of piecing together what FaZe is doing in responding first. They're making sure that that first bit of momentum is in their favor. Obviously,
All right, what do we sell?
the first game that they played against each other, and it going into FaZe's favor, you want to try and get a little bit at that response. If Sonics were able to beat them D2, you kind of have to prove that with your history against them as well. Doki puts a bit of pressure on the small tower. Suffers on the way past. Do they know about Prano, though? That's the pocketed surprise. Citizen pocket Cyber.
His actual feet were sticking out earlier, Prano. So Doki came over, checked, and he's like, nah, your feet are sticking out. I'll take it a drone, but get in the right position there as Astro gets taken out by Elamau. Picks are just happening everywhere. That one was on a laundry staircase. Prano just gets up and takes down Cameraman, and that leaves it up to Bullet and to Souls now. As a 2v5 situation, looking like G2 have this one in the bag, at least so far. Might be looking to find a way back into this round, but Roams are already headed up to the top floor. Souls, though, is ready to go for a bit of breaching. He just heard a bit of noise. He thinks he's being watched. He might be pressured. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's Doki to come around the corner. Actually a bit distracted by an LMG fire coming through, and it will be picked up.
Yeah, Bullet, he's now just going to try and push his way through. Obviously, the kit is cold. The Buck wanted to get an angle.
Do I need relays?
Anyone that might be on the stairs itself.
Yes,
Hold
we need
off that
5
so they
relays.
kind of hope that if anybody did want to try and keep the kit in their favor, it's theirs to take back the breach onto the hatch itself. They're hoping once again this forces anyone that might have been in that position to rotate and move. They're trying to get a free gift. They've realized G2 is playing a bit of this lean into game, and they're hoping they lean into a trap that they can spring. But at the same time, G2's happy to play a bit of caution. They know that they're in the 4 versus 2. Alamau and Citizen are mere slivers of a bullet away from the end. So Souls and Bullet will have to pick themselves up and try and find ways to deliver those.
Quickly checking with the skeleton key. Bullet now heading down with the LMG. Bullets hatch will be open as well, putting up some more pressure. Smoke canisters to be used. Will be wasting some time. One more in the pockets of Alamau. Also, Virtue holding that long angle with the ward, and of course has the glasses to look through. Isn't as obstructed by the particles as much as others would be. Deals a little bit of damage, but instantly gets healed back up.
There it is, the magical glasses that Virtue did so much work with earlier on the roll of the ward and in their previous showdown. It's going to see if it can try and piece some of these players apart. Alamau, he's close. He's ready with a shotgun. There's a second player stacked up on the pillar and on the door as well. There's a bit of a trade out, and there's one more. It's a 1 versus 1. He's on the floor!
The one angle they didn't check. No drone left to find out. It turned out to be a 5v2 all the way to a 1v1. And Alamau being prone on the ground.
I don't know who buys this tape thing, the magnetic tape. I can never find someone to buy it.
Just seeing what they can improve on, and a tactical timeout
like no one buys
has
it?
been used.
Fair enough. You know, at this point, it's what you've lost the
Peacekeeper?
full 3 rotation.
Okay, so he buys it for
Oregon.
$1.
It is often cited as something
Which means I don't know how to tell if it's better. I mean, I guess we want dollars because I just use them to make air filters, so I'll just sell it.
Here is the preference of things have entirely slipped
Fine.
away. G2 have built up so much energy.
Magnets are
Sure, that one came down to the
10K.
1 versus 1, but you have to always piece together how a lot of those early kills happened. It was
Well, I know he buys
sort of
intel
single
stuff, but
person
like I don't know what's on the
engagement.
tape.
Prano tucked into the corner that he was
Is it military
whether
stuff?
it was
I don't know.
Citizen charging down white stairs and getting the pick onto the window, or whether it was the kill. I'm not entirely sure how it came up. Whether it was a swing up laundry stairs or down. Either way, G2 is swinging. G2 be swunging.
How much time do we have before the other game starts?
You know, and as the wise man
4
said
minutes. Okay,
once,
so it's
I think it was
almost.
Corey, swing or be swung?
Swing or be swung? Yeah.
Attackers need
Put
to
it in black
locate
and white.
Put it in black and white. Put it on a quote.
Fuel.
Put it on a move.
Put it out. Put it above your bed.
Put it as the background on your monitor.
Yeah.
So you always remember.
Put it on a poster card and tape it on the top of your monitor, just so you can remember every single time you're playing. Swing or be swung.
G2. They built themselves a nice little bundle.
The
of
SMT,
rounds.
yeah.
Now they're actually back to the site that opened it up with an attempted rush. They're going to go back to the stage, back to the meeting area, not opt for dining, which becomes a bit tricky because you generally have to hold on to the verticality. Here we've seen a lot of teams adapt to something. They like to sort of have those wider firefights rather than the pinches, pull themselves to what is this big sturdy lockdown. The Ossa is on board. Now what we assume here from the role of the Ossa is generally control over the stage. You stack it up onto one onto watch attic and the other one onto the side of the stage itself. And it's going to take some busy work from Alamau and some C4 to stop it.
So we could also see if from the opposite side, if you do manage to take split on control, then the talent shields could be of good use to get a plan down there as well. Of course, the majority of them always do come down from the stage if Nossa is on the board, but it wouldn't be too weird to see a completely opposite kind of take to happen from FaZe as we speak. And as we go on, it is is indeed the big tower that is slowly starting to get some attention from FaZe. 4 players all around it. Drones are now entering from above as well, trying to get some clear information. Doki, we take him out, trying to rotate out towards safety as the pressure is starting to rise.
Brano dropped as well. He was around the side of Attic. I think they pieced together what style of push was coming their way and didn't want to get caught out in the clearance that comes through. Citizen's going to be a bit of a backline. Let's see if a Nomad pops an air jab just on the way of Attic, but G2 you can see is restructuring that backline. They have an awareness now that the wall is going to be the next point of breach. Like I said, there's the first hostile shield. It watches over Attic just to make sure that if someone tries to swing round, well, they're probably not going to get swung round entirely. There's the pop in the angle. There's the idea on where players might be. There it is now, a firing range for them to sit behind and sort of say, come on, do you think you're hard enough?
Souls is going to be able to open up now as the Mew Jammer has been removed, but he's afraid. Player coming up from the back stairs. Citizen is putting down some key members. A double C4 from Virtue. Finds Estro, finds Cyber. And that is going to be the Osagon. Of course, you can still open up, but well, you don't really have the shield anymore to play behind.
Yeah, I guess they thought they were hard enough or didn't even really need to play the game. The C4 came up from underneath. There's an air jab. Popped, and Alamau caught a little bit, but Citizen wins out the fight. The swing and the retake round on the backside. Doki pokes his head onto the other bullet. Is not the only one left.
Another flawless. Damn.
They're definitely enjoying this to the side of G2 there. They're just playing. Like, they're playing so free, so fluid. They're just able to pick up whatever FaZe is throwing at them so far.
That's only one junk box, but I think the other game is going to start.
It's enough to be second seed.
Time is it? Noon? Okay. I'm gonna have to feed Nova soon anyway. Oh my god, this fucking video. Every goddamn time. It's that Bibu video again. I can't watch it.
Vitality go down to Challenger League.
L'équipe commence à s'écrouler en fait. Je pense que l'équipe ne fonctionnait juste plus ensemble.
Vitality reclaimed their rightful position amongst the top teams in Europe.
Let's go, Bastion! Oh là 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 là, il est trop fort!
Bibu manages to get the final kill. 10 for Bibu. Bibu coming in so clutch for Wolves. Bibu in the 1 versus 1.
Bibu peut-être, il va y arriver, le 1v1. Oh mon dieu!
Trop facile pour Bibu.
To talk about names and stats, we answer as a wolf pack. See you in Berlin.
Foxville getting that one shot onto easy peasy, dropping him through the smoke grenade. And a ball bang, another one from Fox. He is just on fire today. Gonna go for it. He gets the headshot onto Zilch. He moves on forward. Gets a wall bang.
Beautiful play from Foxa.
Foxe saw him clearly, just missed the shots.
Me too. There you have it. They'll repeat back to the TSM send Oxygen home. They proceed to the next round.
Oh, and the lapsing, but no, I got it all, shut it all down. Let's throw it further and closer to the sky.
Stuck away from him as Foxe will take away at least the cause for an ace, and it'll be a double kill for him. A flawless round for Oxygen. Fox, oh my god, let's go! The damage has already been done.
3 huge points as OXG get back on top.
Welcome back to the final game of the Berlin Major here on the B stream. It's me, Des, joined by Tim for Wolves versus OXG. A last final hoo-ha of EU versus NA. Wolves have already made it. Oxygen now cannot catch them. But this could be a real nice, fun game to enjoy, Tim.
I love these pictures. I don't know if I've said this. I love these pictures that have been
They
used
go
on
hard,
the.
right?
They really do. It's like we've got a bunch of albums ready to drop for all the teams. I'm all about it.
What would you call Wolves' album?
The Wolfpack.
Brilliant. What about OXG? Easy breathing?
Breathe. Just breathe.
Just breathe. With a full stop at the end.
Breathe. Full stop.
For extra edge points. That's absolutely it.
Well, we've got a siege game to play as. Our dreaming about these pop stars in the making aside.
You like to sing?
We're going to get into this. I like to. It doesn't mean I can.
They could have a third track and call it Feet DJ Tim. Ace of Wide Right. DJ Wide Right. That's it. DJ Wide Right. I love that.
I'm not sure anybody else would. We are, as we say, having a last game here between
vetoes.
Wolves
Let's take a look at the
and
vetoes.
XG. Let's have a look at those map vetoes, Des, and we'll see that we're going to be going to.
Do you guys want to watch the stream twice in one video?
I
I just looked over and I was like, why does that look so weird?
Why do I work with you? So,
ask yourself that every day.
What does this matter? What does it mean, you might ask, given that Wolves have just qualified in the last game to go through to the playoffs? Well, it means that Oxygen are still fighting over 50 SI points. That's the difference between 4 and 3, maybe 50, 55.
I think it's like 105 for third,
the thing
50
is,
for fourth.
I tell you what, you miss out on SI by 30, 40 points, you're going to wish you won this game. Simple as that. So, it is a big one. It does matter. We're going to Oregon. For me, it's Morrigan. I love a bit of Oregon, and we're going to see these two. I just feel like, as well, these two are really going to go at each other now. Knowing it's the last game, there's still a little bit of something there to play for. Wolves are dead happy they've just won, and I can see them really going at each other, and Oregon is just a perfect map for that.
Oregon again.
Previously, I'd have said coastline. Now I'd say get them onto Oregon and just let them
Wolves
go
have
wild
played
and fight.
6 matches. 3 of them have been on Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be
and 2 on Chalet. What did they play? What was the only other one that they played?
And just
First
absolutely,
OXG,
go
or no,
wild at each other
W7M.
in
No, that
with
was
the
Chalet.
guns. But yeah, we don't have
What did they
coastline in the pool anymore. But I think Oregon, like I say, is not too
in
not
the
too far away.
pool.
In the pool.
The pool. You say it like it's
Pool.
spelled P-E-W-L.
Pool.
The rest of us say P-O-O-L.
Stop talking
Pool.
about how people pronounce things and just talk about the map ban phase that is currently happening.
It's the oo sound. I'm putting the oo sound in there.
Pool.
Pool.
No, because you do like an ew sound.
Pool.
God, casters talk about the game challenge.
Don't worry,
Impossible.
your stream hasn't stuck. Not just repeating. the
Hello,
word pool.
everyone.
Fucking
It's just
Christ.
Des and I. So we have got the band training
Hang
in.
on. There's someone else here with us.
Des, people will go mad if we don't go over the bands. We've
No,
got
but
Easy with us as well
That's
on the
it,
observing
we
as well.
have. The OG's back. Oh, there he is, screaming down my earlobes. That was such a beautiful sound, Easy. Hello, beautiful.
It's very loud.
Clubhouse was the only other one they played.
It was pretty loud at mine as well.
3 Oregon, 2 Chalet, and 1 Clubhouse.
The bands that came in, Ying, interestingly, just protecting against that double window push into dorms. We've got Thatcher
I don't know
as
what
well.
the fuck they're talking about.
Don't really need to discuss
Not
them
the
too
game.
much, fairly straightforward at the end in terms of the defenders. But the Ying is an interesting one. We've seen Ying use a couple of times. There's a lot of shouting going on that other stream. We've seen Ying used a couple of times on Oregon. Like I've said before, it's used on the double window into dorms to try and cover
I mean,
that.
I like
But
the
also
casters
we've
in
seen a lot
general.
of
I don't.
Ying used to
These
get
2 are not
into
my favorite
electrical,
like
to get
duo,
into
but
pillars, either from rear stage stairs,
they've
down
been
through electrical
doing this a
hatches.
lot
That
today, where
candle
they're
is
just
being
talking about
used
like
quite
random
heavily in those
bullshit that's
areas as
not.
well. So no surprise to see the Ying going this time.
It's a good point, actually, because we were casting our game, we didn't see what happened over on the
Like,
other
I'm not.
stream.
You're not here to talk about how you
Phase,
pronounce
forget who they
words
played,
differently or
but
whatever. You're here to talk about the game.
is Phase
And like,
versus
sure, you can like
G2.
joke around sometimes, but they've spent an inordinate amount of time talking about like pronunciation and stuff while there's things going on.
Top spot in that group. I'm looking now. That is actually really interesting. So,
Like, talk about the setup, talk about where it looks like they're gonna hold. Talk about the game.
But based on the outcome of that game, G2 would be within striking distance of taking first place away from FaZe, assuming Sonics had lost that game, won that game, sorry.
Imagine a world. Right, imagine G2 after... Oh, we've got an opening kill there. Bibu going to go straight in and get a headshot onto Laxing.
Okay.
Look at this. Wolves not messing about, getting straight
like 10
into
seconds in.
meeting there, taking that early challenge. They've got control of the hatch. Oxygen were trying to play with the hatch open by the looks of things and just defend meeting. Sorry, no, Wolves have played with the hatch open more to the point, and they've tried to get in there quickly. Laxing trying to just get control of that area to be able to lock it down before they could move away, and Bibu gets the kill and protects it. Second one comes in, and this is looking good for Wolves.
I think what you're going to find in this game is because OXG have been generally quite slow, and lethargic is a word that I really like using lately. They've been quite lethargic, they've been a bit behind the pace, they've lacked a bit of energy at times. They will get
I feel like I have faith in them as casters. I think that they both are good and like know the game. I don't think they're my favorites, but I don't think that they're bad either. I just think that these last 2 games they've been pretty distracted, which is annoying as a listener for me.
He had a slow start to the last game, but did warm up as it went on, and here is starting out strong. His counterpart in Nuas was a matchup I was really excited to see here. When we saw the groups, I was like, Nuas versus Mowgli. Oh, 2 of the
name Origin, but like that went on for a really fucking long time. And then they started talking about like word pronunciation. I don't know.
No, he's not really, as you say, you know, giving us exactly what we might have seen in his NAL.
Same with casters all around esports?
We've got
okay, I mean, who cares? What does it matter if it's in all esports? I'm just talking about this one.
Nothing wrong with that. Nuas is going to open up the bottom of Laundry Stairs, maybe just to attract a little bit of attention from Wolves, but I don't think he's going to overly push that at the minute. He's just going down there with the drone for the time being, see what's going on. Dream does manage to get himself established down in Freezer.
And again, like I said, it's not that they have to talk about the game 100% of the time, but they were just like ignoring stuff that was happening in the game to talk about other stuff. They have the diffuser.
Is going to be coming in. It's Nuas down at the bottom of the Laundry Stairs now. Tries to take the challenge, shut down by Bibu, and that's going to be round 1 going to Wolves.
I saw the timing on that as well. It was so natural, but 2 players swinging at once, 1 from either side, a third there to take in case someone did go down. Just no way Nuas walks away with all 3 kills there, and even if he had,
yeah, I like Fluke and Hap a lot.
Everything right. So in the first round, bullying OXG around the map, getting rid of 2 or 3 players.
I like Des and Ace. I don't dislike them. I just don't think they're my favorites.
Really good round by Wolves.
Ace, in particular, has a very specific way of talking when he's hyping things that I don't like.
They were pushing a little bit independently at points, taking a lot of 1v1s, losing out to the superior gun skill, at least on the day. From
I mean, Parker and Kicks, of course, were like my favorite. I still really like Parker. I don't really like Pengu as much. I think he's very knowledgeable. And he's also very new at it. I think he does a good job. I just don't really like him as much as I like some of the other casters, I think.
To be able to challenge through to top armory corridor, to be able to challenge through to trophy, but this
and then
they're gonna lock that one down.
The APAC casters are new to me. It was Dev and Mandy, I believe, that I thought were fine, but I don't know them very much. They're very well.
Because of course attackers quite often like to breach there,
I don't know.
to push into games. So
I'm unfamiliar with them.
You better be ready to hold on to it.
Absolutely. Well, here, making use of that as armor that has been banned away in so many games today. I think of the 4 games we've cast, it was banned away in
grooming herself. She made a weird noise.
So
it's just Ace specifically does this weird thing when he's talking about like a hype moment. I wonder if he'll do it.
Ouch. That was against FaZe as well.
G2. I got strawberries earlier and some carambola, dude.
What score was it the game was against Sonics, between FaZe and Sonics?
I totally forgot these have been sitting here this whole freaking time.
Sonics won. Oh, so that means G2 would take first place then. If G2 have just 7-0, they've just jumped to first place in their group.
Just think of G2 play day 1, play day 2 in a UL, and if I said to you G2 are going to top their group at the Berlin
I think it's
Major,
Ace that does it anyways.
you'd have laughed at me because you'd have said there was no way they were going to qualify.
Because this is Ace talking right now,
and
right?
B, because there was certainly no way they were therefore going to be topping the group, but they have got it job done, and they're going to head into the playoffs in style. Foxy manages to take down Mowgli. That's always a big start when you can take the Malusi off the board.
Well, I cut them this morning, and I set them on the side of my desk, and I forgot about them.
Just about at the halfway mark, they still need to take P4 out. Nitro in hand, so he's definitely a threat. He's going to try to keep himself in position underneath here, just rotating from kitchen through to security. This is a really common position that we see the defenders playing in lately, and basically the reason that he's there is to try and deny any access coming in through double window, any plant going down inside of there. The idea is, if anybody hops in, he uses the Nitro, and he shuts down that push.
Whew. Well, that was fun revelation, yeah. So Sonics won against FaZe and G2 won 7-0. So here we are, Tim. We're in a world where G2 have just taken first spot of the group. I never thought I'd see that, and I know 100% what's going to happen. I want to get buried by the G2 social media manager because I predicted that they would finish 4th in their group. Cannot wait for that. Anyway, let's focus more on our game here. We've had a little bit of time scrolling through Wikipedia and seeing what's going on and getting some information back and forth. 4v3 for Wolves in this round. Again, playing the disruptive start, bringing down 2 of the hot entries on the side of OXG. Nuas and Vertical had a wonderful game at the start of the day. to be fair, not just because I've seen this shot as well, I do want to commend Dream. He's played Ace an awful lot over the games they've played so far, and he has had some really good rounds where he's hit some nasty shots whilst doing his supportive job as well. So although he's not shining on the kill feed all the time and getting himself up there to be double-digit kills consistently, I do really feel his impact as a support player.
He just got himself away from almost certain death there as well as the Toxic Babe canister come out. He's on very low health.
I can't tell the difference between their accents, but
almost certainly seen him down and dead. Fox here going up to the top of White Stairs, but Rise is there, peeking at just the right time. Manages to find his man, 3 versus 2.
I don't know if it's Dez or
13
it's Ace
seconds left
that
to go.
does
Waxing almost shut down inside of
Ace.
Attic, but they're going to need 2 more kills to come out of him here as Shinka finds Dream elsewhere in the map. Waxing pushing through, 5 seconds left to go. Wolves just aren't going to take the fight here. They know where it is. Rise manages to see his man through the door, and that's going to be Wolves 2-0.
I'll try and point it out when it
Really
happens.
describe it so far. A couple of
So
scary
far, I
moments
haven't
for
noticed
sure,
it.
But Wolves looking largely undisturbed by Oxygen. I mentioned it earlier on that Oxygen felt a bit lethargic, a little bit slow at points as well. Not really played for trades all that much. And Wolves so far feeling very comfortable playing against that kind of play style. Meeting and Kitchen we jump into next. It is the offsite. So if we're going to see Oxygen succeed, this is the kind of site where they should be shining. Always curious to see if on the attacking side we have the attackers repick into bringing along an Ossa. Those of you who have watched a lot of the national leagues, regional leagues, such as APAC North, EUL, often what we see is teams attacking through the stage wall, which Easy is very expertly showing now. Thank you very much. You'll have shields placed up on the ground floor, also on the upstairs floor to control inside of Attic. And it just gives you a really commanding position as the attackers to get a smoke plant.
I mean,
down,
it's mostly live.
The only fear that you need to have is
there is a
flank coming
delay,
into the
but it's
basement.
not like
And
a...
the number of times that teams have fluffed it up,
That's not a
and
long
not had
delay.
a flank drone downstairs, or simply haven't been aware or conscious of the idea that someone could come from below, has cost more rounds than it should have. But either way, normally a very strong attack. OXG, I don't think, are going for that, given there is no Ossa on side. Instead, moving over to bring in the Ace and the Nomad as their extra picks.
Body utility expended upstairs. We can see a majority of the reinforcements heading in that direction, so that tells us that Wolves really are expecting some top floor pressure to come in from OXG. Newers is looking for that initial engagement straight away, but instead he's going to take about 60 damage there, and he's going to be looking to use one of those nanobot boosts right at the beginning of the round, even to keep himself competitive here. P4 challenging onto Small Tower. They're really pressuring from multiple sides here. This is going to be easy, surely, for P4. There you go, takes down Vertical, drone comes in, it's too little too late from OXG.
White window, Rise looking to double swing it with him here as well. 2 of them looking out for it, and they get the down as well. Another fantastic bit of team play, but this time, Dream is there to provide the cover needed. Newers gets himself back up with another pull of those nanobots, and it was a great response from OXG.
Foxy onto Bibu, just starting to really clear things out now. We've got Mowgli left above, but otherwise it is all site-based. However, Shinka, he knows there's somebody in there. Takes down Foxy. Mowgli deleted by Newers, though. Dream and managing to get one as well. And all of a sudden, OXG seem to have found their feet here.
We're only 60 seconds in.
I know, this is wild. It feels like I've been casting this round for about 4 minutes with how many kills there's been.
I was going to say, that's exactly how I feel as well. And all in such different locations as well, all kinds of events going on across the map. It's unbelievable. But there are 3 left alive for OXG here, and Shinka will be hard-pressed to try and get a recovery off. I said this was the offsite. I didn't necessarily expect Wolves to win it. Oxygen have really shown that true here in getting themselves a 3 versus 1 with the diffuser down. A man holding close. Shinka's got no chance as Newers collects the close.
The thing is, it is the offsite, but OXG have won that in resounding fashion, and that's what's important there. You know, it's not about just crawling over the line and just managing to squeak that win and get that first round on the board. They've really sent a message that actually, Wolves, we've woken up a little bit here, and maybe we're going to be coming for one of your primary or secondary sites as well, and maybe we might just be able to take it. They're going to at least have that bit of belief in them. So as we head into round 4, it's going to be back down to the basement for Wolves, Laundry and Supply. This time around, OXG really need to not lose as many people out in the map. It was Laxing who went down immediately after trying to rush into meeting. Bibu was playing there to try and hold on to the hatch. He had it open so that he had his route back to site as well, and it was a nice little setup from Wolves, just trying to hold above, have that vertical extension. I'm not sure whether they'll do the same again this time, but OXG just need to be a little bit more careful that they're not losing bodies so early.
They're coming prepped here at least with some good utility on side, looking towards things like the Flores to deal with what will otherwise be a 90 hold. Shinkara's got the shield in back pocket that inevitably will sit inside of 90. And P4 maybe not.
They can't change operators mid-game.
They
change operators every round.
Tower. To be fair, it would normally be a Jaeger or something like a Warden, someone who can either ignore throwing.
Do you mean mid-round?
Flashbangs, or deal with things like nades coming in.
Because no, not mid-round. But every round they play new characters.
If he's not droned out, there could be a good late round flank coming out of the Warden.
Mowgli is going to be inside a meeting this time. Hatch not open though, as we saw last time around, so it might just not attract as much attention from OXG.
What's up, Demo?
Well.
Thanks for the 44 months.
A little bit of honey sometimes to attract them, to draw them in.
So badges changed.
Something
like,
there to fight for.
I don't know, a year ago?
Does an awful lot of damage to Dream there. I don't think they're aware, but here we go. Newers is straight in. He's got the sledge of Vertical along with him, who manages to find that opening kill onto Bibu. What a shot from Newers. Manages to get himself a second as well. Vertical's put in the diffuser down, and all of a sudden it's a 5v1. It's all up to Mowgli, shut down, and that is a flawless round from OXG. 2-2, game on.
Great call again. We've seen this a few times today, Tim, where teams identify 2, 3 players are off site, and you know what we can do? We can hit the site in a 4vx here. We can catch them by surprise, and that's without clearing away all the utility, like the Banshees, like those keeper barriers that were in front of them. They still get through, they find the kills, they close things out nice and comfortably, and a really small note off screen that you guys wouldn't have seen was Dream holding the angle onto P4 playing in small tower. I spoke about the flank potential of that Warden pick. So what does Dream do? They nearly lose one man there, and then he sets himself up in a spot where he has a wonderful shot onto it. So P4 cannot leave small tower, cannot help with the retake at all. It's just smart composed play where Dream has that reliance and trust in his team to get the job done on site, whilst he makes sure there'll be no nasty upsets from behind later on.
On we go then, round number 5, 2 more defensive rounds for Wolves. They're going to go back down to Laundry. They got picked up by the rush of Newers and Vertical last time around, straight down Laundry stairs, and in they went.
Wolves qualified
Wolves were
for
just, in honesty, completely unprepared for it.
So
I'm sure that won't be the case this time. They are happy that it's probably not going to happen. I don't think that they'll expect OXG to repeat that, and should they, I'm sure that Wolves will be more prepared for it this time around. Bibu on the Azami has opened up the hatch, is going to play inside of meeting again, likely deploy a keeper barricade or 2 just to try and help him, keep him safe, create that safe space, and this time just again trying to attract OXG into meeting, but I don't think they'll fall for the same trick twice.
You'd hope not, but there has been quite a lean towards the KB to give that call coming through, so there's some indication of where players are. It was what P4 was caught out by in small tower last time around.
She's sitting like right underneath me.
The same here if he doesn't get out of dodge fast, and I tell you what, that's like turning around and seeing a monster at the doorway just for a flash of a second. Gets away, realizing that he's lucky to have his life here. I believe that was the sledge of Vertical that didn't quite fire the shots off in time to bring him down, but the pressure is increasing all around small tower as the phone call comes through, and then comes Foxy.
Going to be using the Inox scanner of the Jackal just to track down. He switches over to the yellow footprint. They will get more tracking pings. That's how that works. Newers manages to find on kill onto Rise there, and just to finish what I was saying about the Inox scanner, the heat of the footprints, if you will, it ranges from red down to green, as you would expect. Newer is red, older is green, and the newer the footprint is, then the more pings it will gain you from that scanner. If it's one of the really light greens, you might just get a single ping onto the defender where they are in the map. So Foxy just choosing to switch off his initial selection of footprint onto the yellow, but at the minute hasn't helped them track down anybody just yet.
Not just yet, but they have all backed away straight towards side. So I like this from Wolves, where they're actually playing quite aggressively. Think about like tier 3 of Tower, for example, playing around meeting, but by the 90-second mark, they have all now dropped back down to site. Whereas before, what I think you'd normally see from Wolves is actually they'd stick 2 or 3 players out on the roam and just say, right, hold hard and die trying. That's what we saw on Chalet. It's a bit of a different story here, mind you. So Oxygen have now got the full run of things. They've got a good 60 seconds to get themselves set up here, to agree on a plan as a group, and then execute on it. This is the best chance they'll get to look sharp.
Pushing down into Laundry once again, but P4, he's ready on the long angle. Newers, however, in there for the trade. Can't keep Dream alive, but can keep the magic going as he manages to find and keep that man advantage 4 versus 3 as Oxygen.
God, the ADS so fast.
To try and get aggressive towards side.
God, imagine trying to do that in Tarkov.
There has the potential to push down rear stage stairs and have a little bit of an impact onto pillars. Mowgli, I think he knows that the diffuser's down at the bottom of Laundry stairs, and that's why he's playing it here, because he knows they're going to have to come in that direction. Takes a bit of damage from a nade. There's a another coming in. That's him done for. 4 versus 2. Beautiful pick up by Vertical, but Bibu, he manages to find Foxy on the rear side and come in. Shinka gets the kill. 2 versus 1. 1 versus 1 as
Right,
Shinka
you know where he
keeps
is.
on going inside of sight.
But it's against the juggernaut that is Nuas, having a wonderful game at 8-2. Deadly as they come.
He's backing off because he needs to plant. He has to grab the diffuser and plant.
And go for a plant. So Shinka has played it perfectly.
Nice
Run
job,
away from
Shinka.
side. Nuas has no time. Wolves find round 5.
However it gets done, you just got to get yourself over the line using the clock that time to get there, and that's going to be 3-2 for Wolves now. We will see their final defense
God, they're
coming
all so
up.
sweaty.
I likely expect
They're
it will
probably
be
so hot,
up
that
on the top
sucks.
floor. Indeed it will. They're going to go to dorms this time around. We saw it back in round number 2. They were able to get the win there then. They're going to be hoping for more of the same, and they were pretty solid up there. They didn't really allow any access massively into sight for a lot of the round from what I remember.
Alrighty, round 6, last one of the half. Wolves, their last chance here to pull ahead up to 4-2. It's kind of what we're expecting. We spoke about the offsite being the dicey point for them, but at least here they're going up to a relatively safe site up on the top floor in kids' dorms. Looking on the defensive actual lineup they brought along here as well, you've seen that as Army stepping into the 4 once again. I mentioned earlier on, banned away an awful lot across the day and throughout the week, to be honest, and when she has been available, picked up by a large
No, there's
number of
3
teams.
majors and they're in
I like
different
seeing this, by the way,
places.
so when teams open up
There was one
to
earlier
walk
this
in
year
and
in
look to play
Charlotte,
through it
North
with,
Carolina.
the shotgun on the smoke. I think it was BDS
There'll be
the first did it,
one.
at least in Europe. We may have seen it around the world.
I don't know if they've
prior to
announced
that.
where the next
But
one will
what you
be,
have
so I
Brady
don't
do
want
was
to
playing super close
say.
onto the opening itself with the shotgun, and when he felt it was getting a little bit hot, you drop a smoke through in towards Master
November
Veteran, pop out the
major
canister, and then reinforce the wall, knowing it's
Asia
very
is all
unlikely
they've said.
that anyone's going to be able to challenge you or charge through and come for the kill.
It's
But
usually
we
like they
have
move it to a
seen
different
increasing
region each
amounts of
time.
that in recent time, players thinking, yep, I'll just take the damage penalty and I'll get straight through that smoke and get aggressive. So it's always something that you've got to be careful of. Vertical straight into rear stage there. You can see the drone at his feet again, just racing ahead, making sure that he's safe, not going to suffer a push from underneath. We've got a repel moving into Arsenal, and I like this from OXG. We're getting multiple angles of attack here, which is always something that I favour. Doesn't quite see the backpack of the Jaeger there, so not going to be able to get any action going. Bibu looking to just support there as well on the armory stairs.
Feels like Nuas has really got a point to prove today, at least in his own mind as well.
Prove that.
Caster curse again. Damn.
He knows it's a nice shot, and it was. Rise just finding the man far too easily.
Damn.
I was going to say 8-2, you know, almost averaging a couple of kills around so far. It really has been on one, and compared to what some of the games Oxygen have had, where he's been
And
pretty
then
quiet
the,
throughout the competition. This is going to be a game where
Invitational
he's really seeking to
is
make the
always
action, but
in
at least
February
this
in
round,
Montreal.
That's not going to be a possibility.
That's the one thing that...
Cream now, the one at the bottom of Armory Stairs. Just put the diffuser there for the second. P4
Hello.
creeping up. I'm not
Ooh,
sure.
caught him while he was
Absolute
running.
freebie for P4.
Nice.
They just haven't searched and sought underneath to make sure they were aware of exactly what was going on. Vertical taking the quick peek on towards Pit, but in a 3 versus 5 needs to be careful. The last thing that OXG need here is to be losing another man. They're at the halfway mark, and they are very much behind, and there's somebody inside of Arsenal. It is the Azami of Bibu, and if that...
I think he knows.
I think he knows that he's there in Armory, and they can't get him with the nade. Maybe they're going to have to be careful to make sure they drone that out. Foxy, there you go, gets the kills. That was exactly what they needed. That just gives OXG a little bit more hope in this round.
I've had that twice today, and I've never really seen it before. But when an observer flicks onto a player just as they die, you get that kind of, well, what do I look at now? And it's normally a default spot somewhere in the map. So unlucky time in there, I guess, easy. But we still find out, still things moving forwards. One down on the side of Wolves here, still in control of the round. Nuas being off the board so early, I mentioned back in the last map for these guys as well, you lose a couple of those nades that will go down with him. It's really valuable to find a Finker early in the round because you also remove that nanobot stip.
Just trying to get something going out of Trophy.
None of them have
here.
keys in hand right
Vertical
now.
moving in from the attic side, but the problem that they've got is that Wolves are aware of where these pushes are coming from. Vertical just burning a nade there that would have been much better spent taking out the bulletproof camera that's currently watching his every move, and that is exactly what Bibu is sat on, just watching, waiting, looking to guide his teammates into the fight, but Laxing manages to take down Mowgli, manages to take down P4. What a performance he's putting in here on Dorms, and that's an opportunity for OXG. They need to think about getting this plant down. It's all up to Foxy. He's going to start the process. Rise, Shinka, you got to move now. You got to do something. Fox is going to stick this. Does indeed. Shinka goes for the shotgun. Gets one, but not two. Laxing third in the round. 1v2 now. It's all up to Rise. He's back deep in dorms. He needs to start moving through. He's got the rotations. He's got the mobility that he needs, but he needs to be quick time.
He's not doing it as much as he used to.
22 seconds if he wants to be able to disable the diffuser. Manages to find vertical. 1v1 shut down by
That's a nice shot by
Laxing.
Laxing.
4K at least on the round.
He wasn't doing
Not
it as
sure
much. He
that
used to
picks
like
up the first
maybe
of the
I don't know.
kills.
Maybe he's doing it less now.
Apologise, Laxing, if it was an ace, but what a round it was
But
from
he
him.
would like
That's
kind of
gonna be
make this
OXG,
like
leveling things up.
I love how the penultimate kill that he got there.
I don't know,
as well
like
was,
a
again,
like
that
a
trade-based play that I said
almost like a
Oxford had been
growling
missing.
when he
They get
would
the push out
talk.
from Shinka with the shotgun
In
immediately
those
there.
like
Laxing
those
is
moments where
playing
he's like
from
calling a
inside
lot of
game.
things that are
Looking
happening
nice and sharp today.
in a
We did
row.
a lot in the game earlier on. Seeing some more of it coming out here.
I don't know how to
on
explain
again.
it. That's why I was
Now
hoping he would do
sides
it so I could
with
point it out to
Oxygen
you,
going
but he didn't
onto
really
the
do it there.
They're going to start down in the basement. But Tim getting 3 attacking rounds on Oregon, not a bad outcome at all.
Not bad at all, as you say. Oxygen now. Let's look at, you know, the potential timeline from here. They've got the 2 primary sites to go at, so they've got basement, they've got dorms. If they can lock down and win both of those, which the defenders do have a lot of joy with normally, that could leave them at 5-3 on the scoreboard, and that's not going to be easy for Wolves to climb back from. Basically, OXG don't need to worry about the offsite at this point. They can just lock down basement dorms, and that is the job done. It'll be 7-5 overall.
10 seconds left.
It'd be nice to get towards that kind of point, but we'll see if that's the case, because immediately, Tim, I'm looking at the pain train that Wolves are bringing along here. We've got the blitz on side, and we normally know what a blitz means. It means there is a filthy rush coming down through 90. So sure enough, you're going to have 3 or 4 players spawn down here. 1 or 2 maybe look for the backstab. You've got Shinka on the Yana, who normally plays the operator more supportively and uses the Gemini clones to help find information for the team. You've got P4 on the Nook, expect them to come in for a backstab, but the other 3, they're all going to try and beeline their way down 90 here. And I get a feeling the Dream is kind of aware it's coming.
Raz is going to just rush in with the blitz here. He tries to use the Toxic Babe canister, but that is elbow cleared. We see the shield operator used in that way so often to do that. The smoke canister is going to go out and just provide a little bit of safety for Rise in there as he gets himself reload and reset. But P4, he's looking to move around Laundry as well, so multiple angles.
Yeah, they've done this. They do this a few times actually. On Oregon, they run blitz on the blue push
keep themselves going.
for whoever's sitting in this corner.
He's got keeper barriers to play behind. Everyone's attention is focusing off on the other way. By the way, I hear we've now got the A-Stream joining us. Welcome to the game. I hope you're enjoying what's no doubt going to be a spectacle here in the second half. P4 on 1 backstab. Traded out by Vert as P4 finds it onto Foxay. Trying to shoot at the feet, but you got a full white screen. Vert, run, Forrest, run! Tries to get out, but Mowgli finds the close. And there we go into a 4-3 to Wolves.
I think we've got G2 to thank for the stream joining us with the rapid result that they've just put down. 7-0. What a performance. What a way to send themselves through not only into the playoffs, but I believe we'll do the maths later. We'll double check. I think it will put them top of the group as well. So 4-3 we stand now to Wolves as they get a successful first attack. And coming in here, we thought that OXG might just start to have a little bit of a run of things, seeing as they got themselves onto the defense. But Rise dealing with elbow fantastically on the blitz. Really did rocket Wolves through the round, and it gives them a great start to the second half.
Fluke shared a little bit of intel as well. She told me that Doki went 12-2.
Oof.
He's been unleashed in a few games, and the thing is, Doki, if you're watching this, buddy, I love you. But Doki's one of the players that can run ahead of the rest of the team, ahead of drones, he can look the wrong way, he can lose his life in really silly situations several times over. But when he's on his day, especially alongside Citizen, they can be one of the most formidable entry pairings that we have got in the world. It's like the throwback to the old days on Na'Vi as well, but now, of course, we're seeing it.
Yeah, there's no matches
banner. They take first
tomorrow.
spot in their group, which means now they get seeded.
Friday will be the playoffs, so they get 1 day.
Groups. Of course, we'll find out what the information
Friday
is
will be
around the bracket draw and
quarterfinals.
let you guys know when that should be
Saturday
released.
is
And now we'll keep on
semifinals,
following through
grand
this game and
finals
see if Wolves can close out what has been
Sunday.
a very successful day for them.
I can't wait to see those matchups. See who's going to face who, region versus region. And what we're going to enjoy.
But they'll be starting at like 2 a.m.
He's
Pacific.
looking for the jump out, but absolutely not, says P4. Completely shuts him down there and just destroys him at the bottom of White Stairs. Wolves fly in here as they get themselves a quick entry and start pushing in across the map. There might just be a man getting caught out in kitchen here. Mowgli's going for him. He's not going to stop, but he does take an absolute ton of damage as he comes around the corner. He's going to have to back off and use the nanobots there. He can't continue that challenge, and that is going to slow Mowgli down for at least the next 30 seconds whilst he waits for another boost.
Alrighty, Snua's again going down early in the round as well. He's had a torrid couple of rounds. Let's not forget, he was 8-2 just 3 rounds ago, but since then has been the entry death repeatedly. Really looking for his early kills, but simply not finding them against a very dominant Wolves side here in the second half. Shinka's going in, Plant going down, and it's Laxing and Foxay, the old school duo, to try and save this round.
Shinka successful in that plant, and things just went from bad to worse for OXG. Shut down underneath from Bibu. Beautiful headshot onto Laxing, and it's all up to Foxay. Half health he has got, and he's going to just have a little look at the poster for us.
Look at the poster, Tim, and also doing a bit of drawing. It's not quite the same as what we saw coming out of, I want to say it was it FaZe earlier? They were spelling easy into the cabinet on Bank's basement when trying to go for a disable. It was beautiful. Okay, not a bad shot, I'll give you that, Foxay, but there's still 4 more to find, mate. Show us what you got.
So he's going to have to, they're stacking up a little bit here. 2
Yeah.
will challenge at the same time. Rise manages to get it, and there's a little bit of shouting going on there, Des.
Sometimes when they know they're in like a completely losing situation like that, they'll just kind of
a bit aggressive.
Delay.
I think they're a bit passionate about winning, Tim.
You can tell that Bibu doesn't have to use his voice too much for his job.
No, we remind
they'll delay while their team kind of talks about what they're going to do in the next round or whatever.
A pretty quiet inside voice.
I have to, because I need to save my throat for the casting that I do.
It's kind of a
So I've got to be very quiet in between games usually.
Yeah, you and Parker are both 2 very loud voices in the room. And for such a small man as well, it's quite a booming voice.
Save your actual like tactical timeout for something later.
I've done all right with it.
Okie dokie. Round number 9 coming up. I remember us joking about that once actually as well. We were talking about Wolves versus the Wolves, but also saying round number 9 versus just round 9.
Either is fine.
The thing is, in like boxing, for example, they never say round number 9. They just go round 9, ding, ding, and then off you go.
And cozy.
So surely we should follow suit and just say round 9.
Maybe.
Round number 9 is like a nice close because you get the round number 9. It's almost musical.
That no matter what I agree to,
I'll disagree with it.
I'm going to come in and go round number 9.
Yeah,
so it's pointless.
It's very true. It's very true. Remember one of the old like phrases that we always used to say, like every caster used to do it. Post-plant situation.
Post-plant situation?
On our hands.
Love a good post-plant situation.
Post-plant situation on our hands. Yeah, all the time. Every single time.
Raz is going to head into the back of rear stage here. Takes down the default camera, but it's P4 that I'm interested in on the knock. He's creeping away underneath. Is he going to find his man inside of security, or is he going to shut down? There he is. Easy for Laxing. 1 pump onto the drone, 1 pump onto P4. And that's going to be the entry kill. Rise goes as well as Newers manages to find him. And that leaves us very quickly in a 5v3. This game's going to be over in rapid fashion here, Des, because neither of these teams are slowing down.
He's had a bit of a kill drought, Newers. It's good for him to get back on the scoreboard once again. And for Wolves, it might feel like finally their attacks are being ground to a halt. But I think, like you said yourself, 2 rounds, then for 1, then 2 for 1 is not going to be a bad outcome. It will be enough for Wolves to close things out at 7 and 5, assuming, of course, they can win in the next 2 rounds. Oxygen, though, you've got Newers holding nice and close to you in this walk-in wardrobe. I wonder if they know about the player being here as well, because with how it's currently set up, you can see him rotating back through. There he goes, opening up the opposite side of walk-in wardrobe compared to what Wolves had open on their defenses, for example. Again, just small regional differences.
Mowgli being challenged from multiple angles here, and OXG have got the freedom to do that, given the first 2 kills that they've picked up, and now that they're in a 5v3 vertical. He's got everything he needs to stay well in position here, and he's putting more utility down because he knows it's a Finker that he's fighting with, and he doesn't want to find himself susceptible to those nades, doesn't want them reaching as far as that deployable shield, and they're not going to be able to whilst the magnets are still in position. And it looks like Wolves, they're just struggling to make any sort of inroads here. They've got Shinka on double window. Mowgli is trying to work in from Trophy. Bibu's just relocating back round to Attic. But right now, they've just got all the answers of OXG.
They have. When you found 2 kills as well, P4 and Rise in the early round, 1, they go down with 4 nades in their back pocket. And outside of that, you're also losing the information gain. There's very few drones actually left active out in the field. Mowgli finds one and sees another great shot inside a pit to bring down Foxay. Brings it down to a 3v2. Still a lot of work to do. Finds the one man, but dreams just better. Swings onto Mowgli and brings him down, leaving Shinka all alone to hold off a 1 versus 3 and only 30 seconds on the clock. He does have the diffuser. Finds Laxing for 1. Has got to find the second man here inside of Dorms, and that may well give him a chance of getting a plant down.
He might just do this, Des. I think he has an idea that he's just gone through into pit. I don't know if he caught a pixel of movement there, but he manages to get the spray down. Surely not. Shinka 1v3. He's got the 2 that he needs. He's got 1 fight and 16 seconds left to take it. He knows roughly
No, Wolves
where the
can't
man is.
finish first.
Maybe
They're second no matter what.
Pros don't fake, Des. He's not. He's
What?
gonna try
Why
and
didn't you
bait
stick
him out.
it?
Newers is on low health. This is here for Shinka
Why?
to win.
Okay,
Surely he does it.
never
Give
mind.
me the soft wall 1v3, Des.
Like,
What a
why are you
play
not
from
sticking
Shinka.
it?
Look at the faces of Wolves. They can't
Shinka has
believe
no
it
reaction
either.
at all. The rest of them are like
Great
laughing
work
and
from
stuff, and
him.
he's just
And that is
complete
gonna
no
be
reaction.
Another round that really shouldn't have been theirs.
The thing is, I know what that does for players as
That was
well.
a
So we all went
3v5.
over to Rogue when they won their game earlier against NIP, and you could just see Spoy absolutely glowing after that 1v3 that he won against NIP inside a trophy. So going throughout this game, if nothing else, that'll be a massive boost because Shinka will hold on to that, knowing that he is that capable and can pull off those kind of plays in the playoffs too. It only gets better for Wolves at this point. Shinka's sat on 8-3 as one of their supportive players, currently second only to Rise on kills. Wonderful performance so far.
Oh, it's big. There's no two ways about it. You know, this is a confidence game, and the more confidence you play with, the more shots just seem to land, the more it's a headshot rather than a chest shot. These things just
What's
seem
up,
to
Aliki? Thanks so much for the
snowball, so
75
that's perfect
months.
for Wolves there, but what an individual player. 1v3, absolutely beautiful. OXG just sort of giving him those 1v1 opportunities, unfortunately for them. Challenging one at a time and just not
She
really
might be trying to break
timing
into
it
the
that
kitchen.
fantastically well. OXG then, they lead us into round number 10. It's going to be a defense of Laundry once again. Wolves have already been able to win down there.
Nice.
Back in round number 8, back in round number 7. They've got 3 rounds in a row now, and it's going to be difficult, I think, for OXG to derail them.
Whew. It's a lot of work. Just one more round as an opportunity for OXG to keep themselves going. I guarantee they won't want to be going home on a 7-3 defeat to Wolves. It has been a rough tournament, not just for OXG, but for all of NA at this point. I think with how things are going, we have, what, 3 LATAM, 3 EU, 1 APAC, and 1 NA team going through, which is a massive stone's throw away from the 4 teams making it through that we have back in Charlotte from NA.
Gonna have Rise already inside of the building, but it's Foxy who manages to open things up with a headshot onto Mowgli, taking down the finger. We know how big a blow that can be to attacking sides. A lot of respect between the two teams, despite the bit of shouting that we've had back and forward. That's all in good fun, good spirits, I would imagine. And a nice shot gets thrown into the chat there from Mowgli, recognising the ability of Foxy. Now Rise, he takes the fight down into Freezer, not going to find his man, but Foxy needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome. He's going to find himself cut off, but the one way to deal with that is just to keep killing through it, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Can Bibu find the kill here? No, he can't. He's going to get sprayed down as well. And Fox here, he just refuses to move, Des. He's going nowhere.
Out come the 2 on the swing, though. Together you can make
He was
magic
on the deagle.
happen.
Nice job.
I love it. He knew it was too hard to go over to the MPX and go for the reload, but for 2 of them there to have to push him to clear out security is a big deal. The only thing I'm nervous about, Tim, is it Shinka still left alive? He's on a slither of HP. There's a minute and 15 to play. 75 seconds with which to work another big comeback. For Wolves to close out 7-3 on that kind of high would be unbelievable.
Oh, it really would. You know, you've got to imagine that OXG should be closing this out. They're down in the basement. It's a preferential site. They've got double the manpower. It should definitely be doable for them. Bibu on low health as well. He's going to be spearheading this attack down in, and given that the Roteros have been coming from that direction, OXG should have a good idea that that may well be where the attack is going to push from as well. But Bibu's going to rotate himself around back into Freezer. We had a little bit of early attention towards it, but finally the Rotero now makes it into the position that they've been trying, and Shinka able to use that Flores gadget to maximum effect, clearing out barbed wire, clearing out key barricades, and just giving access through into
going to delay him for like 3 more seconds,
completely
I think.
out of smoke canisters as well. Dream chewing through his last one there. So it gives Bibu a cleaner angle just to push straight on through here.
Ooh!
Surely they can hold
nice
on.
shot.
Down goes
Dang.
Dream. Last 15 seconds. It's a little
like
dream
in between
here
all
for
the
Wolves
crap.
to be able to win this round with such little time remaining, but the push forward is going to begin. Shinka steps through, sees one man, can't find the head, gets swung by Vert. A good little team.
Oh wait,
play
he didn't
there
kill
coming
him?
out
I
from
thought he
OXG.
killed that guy though.
And Bibu's left all
What?
by himself, finds one.
Oh, I thought there was a
can't
kill that
find
came out at the same
Lewis.
time. That was
OXG find
weird.
their first defensive win.
OXG need to keep fighting for 2 more rounds here. They need.
I mean, I
let's
can
not
like a
forget,
game
1
and not
point
play it.
will put them up into 3rd place.
I don't know why people like. I stopped playing Siege because all my friends stopped playing, and everyone is like, "Oh, I didn't realize."
So
and
really important that they keep fighting for these.
Didn't
last 2
hate
rounds.
this game with every fiber of her
They've got
being.
themselves onto match point. They are already qualified, so they're not too worried here. But OXG, no more mistakes available, and they need to keep this momentum that they've just got in the last round. It's going to be a defense this time of Dorms once again. Again, another site that Wolves have already won. But let's not forget, it was
I'm just
on the
tired
back
of it.
a
It's been
1v3
like
from
how long has it been that I've not been playing
Siege
Siege?
this time?
Yeah, surely Lightning.
And at least like still 2 or 3 times a week I get somebody who's just like, does she
capable
hate
of
Siege
ability
now?
of it. It's not something that should be happening again. Oxygen should be able to hold on.
I mean, it's just not. It's not just you. It's like there's so many people that it's like, can I just like not play a game and just that's it? Like it doesn't have to be that deep.
Has done a wonderful job of holding it. Yeah, I've always said Foxer, but I know it's Fox A, but I still say Foxer.
I know it's just
I mean,
tiring.
Foxy, but
I'm just
when
sick of it. It's like.
quickly, again, we're back onto the accent.
It's like I'll play a game that's a single player game that has a linear story and like a finite end, and then people are like, once I finish it, and then people are just like, oh, does she hate it? She's not gonna play it ever again. It's like, well, we finished it.
Inside the workings.
Of Ace of Wide Right.
True behind the scenes.
Vert's holding here inside a shower. A very smart call, I think, as well, because often attacking teams for this site.
I'm just tired of how often people's brains go to like, oh, you must dislike this thing or hate it now because you're not playing it every single day. Or you're not, like, it's not even every day. It's like if I'm not currently doing something, people think that I hate it.
So understandably, Vert wants to be the one to stand there.
It's like, I'm actually surprised that we haven't had somebody come in and be like, oh, does she quit Tarkov? You know?
One's inside of Armory, Mowgli up on top floor, and a couple more
like the one moment that you're not doing something, you've given up forever.
Keep a
I see.
barricade going out onto Armory door, but Mowgli, he's going to be getting aggressive towards Trophy here. Takes down the Valkyrie cam, but he's well aware that there could be.
I'm surprised we haven't had that yet.
To fly over the top of that dividing wall between Pit and Trophy.
I mean, it is because I'm tired of it. It can be more than one thing too.
Go out. I think that's likely to clear off any utility that's on the wall they may want to breach. Nade is going to go in, bounced off the door frame, not going to do any damage to the Azami. Mowgli needs to be careful there, looking for utility, and nearly finds himself in an unexpected fight with Foxy.
Is that a run up there from the Valkyrie? I think she was out in construction, maybe. Wasn't the Valkyrie? I'm not quite sure. Either way, C4 is ready to come singing over the top of Trophy here, so these boys have got to be careful. There's 2 of them lined up. Nua's let's rip, but I think it sticks to the wall. Man, a couple of times today he's missed out on impact tricks, C4s, you name it. Not great.
No, you've got to be hitting that shot. If you know, it's got to be well practiced. Essentially, we're going to have another Kiba barricade put up, and these barricades just keep causing problems. Foxy very low on health now as the problem continues. He keeps
they
taking
just impacted
shots,
their own Azami.
Of damage.
Oh, hello?
And
He's just standing in the middle of the hallway. What?
Mowgli manages to find Nuas. Does he manage to get Foxy as well? Yes, he does. 5 versus 3. This could be the end.
1 minute still.
In the open there a little bit, gave a couple of freebies over to Mowgli, who's more than happy to collect them like the Grim Reaper. But here comes Vert. A big flank coming up. They have no idea. He sees his man, he sees 1, sees 2.
Hello?
But can't see the 3rd. P4 gets the shutdown, and somehow Wolves still held on. Laxi came up behind him as well. It's a little bit of panic in the Wolves camp, but they still hold on for a 2v2.
I will feed you after this game.
Coming in from Vertical.
That's so funny.
Laxing.
He just looked at the first guy and ignored him.
You might as well roll the dice.
Oh, the timing.
Absolutely fantastic from them. Bibu now aware that Laxing is still inside a trophy, but it means that the pause button has been hit for Wolves. They've had to back off. 20 seconds left to go, and they need to get aggressive. The time is running out. Rise. He wants to make a challenge.
Through, didn't it?
Out goes the nade. It might have dropped through to the lower.
Yeah, it did fall through. That's really annoying.
Laxing onto Bibu. It's Rise. It's shut down. Laxing 3k to close out the round, and OXG they keep fighting.
Lax's movement there as well, dancing between Breach across the trophy and back to Breach again, getting kills in the latter 2 movements. Really sharp stuff coming out of Oxygen, and they may well have done enough to hold on here, Tim. They're 1 round away from taking us through to overtime. Wolves really slipped off for the last couple of rounds, and Oxygen's confidence has only increased. We haven't seen things like those flanks coming out before, and they've done them so well.
Would it be you and I casting the last game of the groups if it didn't go to overtime? That's got to be the question. In what world, in what timeline do we cast the last game of the groups that's as hotly contested as this, and we don't see it go all the way? Surely this is going to be an OXG win. Imagine. That'd be 30 rounds in the last 2 games for us.
Yeah, we have 15 rounds at the last one,
Speaking of saving my throat for the playoffs, that'd be 30 rounds in the last 2 games.
Well, tomorrow we shall be
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
We'll be mute. You say you'll be fine, but then let's not forget Sweden. We got to the end of that phase game.
That was just within the one game, though. I was fine then the next day for the grand final.
Technical problem.
I think we're just going to have a rehost.
I saw nothing in game and I was like, huh?
I think we're just going to have a rehost at
We
this
are,
point.
we are.
Come back to the players. We will get back in
But
as soon as we can.
We were shocked.
I was yeah, at the end of that game, I was quite surprised how well my voice recovered for the next day. Because, I mean, as you can imagine, you know, I'm sure everybody at home can understand how much we use our voice. You know, we do, like today, we've probably done maybe 4 to 5 hours of talking continuously, which is much more than you would do normally throughout the course of a day, I think. Even if you're a chatterbox, you probably don't get through that much. But given...
It's the intensity
It is the intensity as well. But given the amount of time that we've done it for, I can't speak for everybody, but my throat is pretty used to it now. So yeah, you go through those best of fives, maybe towards the end of it, you know, within that short space of time, but it recovers very quickly as well.
I always said it's the casting voice that you put on as well.
You give it a little bit of extra.
This is a really funny thing I do at work sometimes. So we had our Christmas awards back in December, and I said, right, I'm going to do this.
Guys,
how I'd
finish
cast
the
it.
game
And I
so I can go
basically
feed the
casted
cat.
An awards presentation to the whole team, where everyone had a genuine award and a jokey award afterwards. So it might be whatever reason it could be, but everyone was like, whoa, what? Because the voice is so different to us.
Yeah.
To us, it's second nature, because if I was talking normally, I'd probably just sit here and talk like this, and it's sort of whatever. But then you change into the more casting mode, where there's a bit more intensity, you kind of raise the pitch a bit more, there's more volume to it. And we do it second nature. But when you do it to someone who kind of hears what you talk like normally, and then hears how you talk in that kind of environment, it's really different. But obviously that puts a little bit of strain on your throat
Also,
as well.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I can feel right now at
So
the kind of
if we
back
could
of my throat at the top
we
side.
just close this out,
There's
that'd
not
be really
so much
great.
like where, but I know the voice has been worked. I know it wants a rest. So tonight, lots of water, chill time, sleep. Tomorrow, not
Day
a
off
lot of
tomorrow,
talking.
yep.
Exactly. Then we come back in on Friday and we go hard.
We go crazy once again.
And maybe destroy our throats in the process. It'll be great.
As I said, you do get used to it over time. We are going to be loading back into the game now as well. There you go. We've got all players back in the lobby. We're going to go for round 12. It is currently 6-5 to Wolves. And they've been there for a couple of rounds. OXG have been able to fight their way back in, but they're going to need to win the third site now. This is where it's going to get difficult for them. It's going to be Meeting and Kitchen that they go
upset.
for.
This is taking too long. Yeah,
it's now or never for them, really. They're chasing after third place. They're chasing after those additional SI points. And they need to do it down there in the meeting room.
Alrighty, let's see if Oxygen can hold on through to overtime. I spoke about these offsites. It's where they succeeded on the attack back in the first half and where Wolves fell a little bit short, at least to end their undefeated streak on the defensive side. You got Mowgli donning that nut that we spoke about a number of times, can do a little bit of damage here, getting sneaky around the map. P4 and Rise also changing away. I can't think of really... This sounds silly, but the last time I saw Rise play Buck, I know he's been on a lot of Sledge lately, but back in the day, and maybe not even back in the day, probably back in the regular stage, he would play an absolute metric ton of this Buck. And I did wonder if at some point we'd see this, the IQ maybe coming out for Shinka, because we have seen the Valkyrie continuously. But instead what we've seen is Shinka now going over to the Fuse. If you're looking at that and thinking what the bloody Nora is going on there, that's because they want to get vertical control. They want to get inside of kids, they want to get inside of the attic, and just drop the Fuse charges down, clear out the site, and use that newly created space to get the plant down. So really here, Oxygen, they need to have good presence on the upstairs, but Tim, there's someone ratting inside a small tower, and they've seen him on a yellow ping.
They have, they know that he's there. This has got to be an easy one for Mowgli. Straight in, nice and simple. Great teamwork, door opened up for him so that the challenge comes in quicker than Foxy can really react to, and that's going to be a great opener there. But good interesting point that you make about Fuse, Des. You know, I often think about not just people, you know, there's lots of people who watch who know the esports inside and out, and they're good Siege players themselves, but there's also a lot of new people who watch, maybe, you know, just venturing into ranked to begin with, maybe not even playing ranked, maybe just starting out in casual and unranked and learning those operators. And Fuse, I think, often gets picked up as somebody that you're looking to be aggressive with, looking to get kills with those pucks, and that's not really what Fuse is about. Creating space is exactly that, clearing utility and pushing defenders around into the lines of sight of your teammate. That's what they're going to be looking for. P4, he's going in on the Finker, just trying to get those kills onto Newers and to clear out the top floor. There's bullets flying absolutely everywhere at the minute. Newers somehow managing to evade them.
I'm surprised he got through there without...
They know where he is, and they're going to use the Azami's Kiba barricade against her.
Trying to hold on, aren't they, as the assault continues. They know the grenade's coming into his room as well. This could get a little bit ropey. The red over the top, and it only takes a gunshot on the back of it to finish Nua's off. 2 members of OXG dispatched here, playing out on the roam and well shut down by Wolves.
Vertical seriously low health as well down in the basement. He's trying to get something going. We saw him and Laxing using the duo flank previously to bring them back into a round, but I'm just not sure that they're going to get away with that again. Laxing, he's moving himself around, just dipping and diving into green corridor, looking down towards kitchen, trying to keep himself in the best position he can for the late fight that he knows is going to be coming. I'm not sure that Wolves are aware of vertical up at the top of Laundry Stairs though, so there could be an impact, and that's a great example of what we were talking about. Dream having to move out for that period.
I was just laughing at a message that I got, and I was waiting. I asked for permission to share it, so I was just waiting.
Really, or even watching vertical angles from above,
and I will
so
in
that
a second.
when Dream moves, he moves into their line of sight. That's generally the idea with the Fuse. They're just going to try to use that hatch against them, Wolves here. Dream gets aggressive.
Ooh,
Beauty
that
onto
was a
the
nice
door,
shot, yeah.
takes down P4, and that is going to be 30 seconds
Uh-oh,
left to go. 3v2 as we have a manpower
No,
swing
I have to
around.
go.
Massive one as well. Yeah, again, Wolves getting hit on the flank. It's been the 2nd or 3rd time in this half that we've seen this now. It's great play by Oxygen, often involving Foxay and Laxi, but with Foxay going down early, instead that attention turned on towards
She's
other
starting to
players.
eat
Dream
cardboard.
being one of the big ones,
Come
actually
on.
keeping the Dream alive for Oxygen to get some points from this game. Shinka's inside of sight. He's got to make a plant happen. Sees a man at the back and gets the down, but can he make the plant happen because he's left all alone? He's in a 1 versus 2. All he can do is hold F as the
God
members
damn
of
it.
OXG scramble here. They find the man and send us through to overtime.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff from OXG. Really didn't think they were going to hold on in the 3v5, to be honest, but the vertical flank was allowed to happen again, which was a surprise given that they'd suffered to it already. And that means we are going into overtime. We're going to see a few more rounds of this between OXG and Wolves. It's 6-6, best of 3 now, so first to 8 will claim 2 points, and the loser will only walk away with 1. But that means that OXG have secured the 3rd place spot that they were fighting for. They were on 4 points along with Gaming Gladiators.
I'm still laughing
so
about
that. Is
that.
an extra bunch of SI points. Thank you very much for OXG.
It's something they're not going to be too disappointed by at all. As we said earlier on, I think it's 50 points for you finishing 4th and 105 for finishing in 3rd.
Stop eating the cardboard.
Tim, there
Fuck.
could be 30 or 40 points to make the difference. And remember, actually, last time around the kind of 16-point mark,
Like,
or the
but I'm
16th
hungry
place
and you're
mark,
not
because the last
feeding
4
me.
spots go to our open qualifier teams. Around the 16th point, there was probably about 80 points separated. I think 3 or 4 different teams. And there was quite a shock that I think it was TSM might not be able to go or something. I forget which team it was. But there was a team that wasn't really going to be in the running to get there that just about managed to squeak in. It makes for things being really close at the end of the season. So for Oxygen, I know they already had a very good chance given their performances previously. But again, it's just extra security that you're not going to find yourself stuck.
I was just really confused then. This is going to sound a bit strange, but I couldn't see my tablet properly when I was writing on it, and I couldn't figure out why, but it's because I still had my glasses on. Vertical is going to get the
what's
open.
that got to do with it?
I know. It sounds weird. I couldn't
My
see
sister
because
just
I had my
texted me,
glasses on,
do
but
they
I
only
don't
play
need them
overtime
for long,
games?
So if
as
you wear
I've said.
them for short, it'll blur.
Yeah, I can't really see properly
that's
with them. I'm
screwed.
sure. That's why I don't wear them for casting. I just wear them for camera.
See.
But yeah, it confused me for a second. It lost my train of thought.
Forget about Ace of Wide Right. This is Ace of Insight now. I didn't know about
It
that.
really is. Ace of no sight if I keep them on. So we're going to go 5 versus 4 as Vertical gets our opener. Mowgli, he's on the downstairs just seeking, trying to find anybody. They are attacking onto Laundry. They've got access now to Freeze. Absolute beauty. He picks up onto Newers through the hatch, and that gives a little bit of a boost in the step of Wolves.
Oh. Newest has opened his own charity. He's given away so many freebies in this game. Just being caught out in the early round, whether it's trying to play rat spots, whether it's trying to be aggressive out on the roam, or the entry on the attacking side. But Wolves have really feasted on his corpse several times throughout. Him being down here on the alibi is no massive loss to the side of OXG. As you say a few times over, you'll often see things like the Jaeger, the alibi, the Malusi sometimes being the ones that will get out and about around the map because they are the ones that you do not mind losing. Their utility has been deployed. They're just a walking gun at that point. They can waste a bit of time for you. If they go down, it's not the end of the world, although, of course, you would always prefer to keep them alive and have those guns back on site.
Mowgli then just going to be rotating, looking to move and pressure elsewhere, possibly down into bunker. Reasonably late in the round, 1 minute 15 mark, we're going to have Bibu coming in and getting the hatches. Obviously important to make sure that you're doing it safely rather than doing it at all costs, but still, time could be a factor as the round romps on here. We've got a minute left, and they're going to be trying to push multiple
and she's going to start trying to break into the kitchen, and then the dog's going to start barking.
Bunker, but there's no angle really presenting itself for him so far onto the player at Pillars. They're going to need some pressure from the back stairs, and that's what they're going to get as Bibu looks to move down there, but he needs to wait for the toxic canister to dissipate before he can get overly aggressive there. Mowgli's going to send a nade into elbow, but how easy is it for Laxing?
More than ready as well. I think that nade got caught out by Magnus, who was never really in any real danger. Bibu being challenged hard upstairs. It's Dream with the shotgun. A literal drive-by as he pushes into him there. Flash is still raining through, but now the last two members of Shinka and Rise, they've got to find a way to keep this one going. I don't think he saw the leg of the player that was just inside there. Rise goes down. Dream's looking for his third.
They're going to go to
with
15
shotgun.
rounds.
The terror of Tower, not
upset.
yet able to find his last victim.
He knows that Shinka's coming from those rear stage stairs. He's dipped himself away a little bit to try and take a better angle here, more advantageous for himself. Shinka manages to get one. It's meaningless, however, as the trade comes in immediately, and that's going to be OXG giving themselves the advantage in overtime. I've got to pull it back to Bibu on the rear stage stairs there. When he got the flash out, that was absolutely beautiful. You could see the thought process. He had the flash in his hand, and Dream suddenly appears, and there was nothing for him to do but just try and throw the flash at him. It was like, yeah, have that, and just try and throw it in his face or something. Didn't quite pan out for him.
It did not. You ever thought about laser eye surgery?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I quite like the look of my glasses. I don't really mind wearing them. I don't actually need them very often. Like I say, I need them for driving. I'm sure everybody's really interested in my eyesight. I need them for driving.
She's ready to commit crimes at any moment.
Event. So if I come somewhere like this, I need them on to be able to see the stage or to be able to see the screens, things like that. So, but
it's quite scary. It sounds. My brother's had it this week, and he can't see for 2 days.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I just don't. I'm sure there's not. I've never really looked into it that much to know whether there's a big risk or not. But yeah, it's just never really bothered me. I don't mind. I don't wear them an awful lot
start pushing
because I don't need them for
desk.
screens. And let's be honest, I spend the majority of my time sat staring at a screen. So I don't need it for that. So I don't wear them an awful lot, and I'm okay with the way they look. It's never bothered me wearing glasses, so I'll just go with it.
Good, mate, fair enough. But mine are entirely optional, to be fair. They are like range only. Like they work up close as well. Unlike yours, mine are like a good set of glasses that do.
She's looking
work
for
up
stuff
close.
to chew on.
But it's more like for the
Mine are a good set of eyes that just work up close.
Well, basically, yeah. What I always say is trees are in HD. Things at distance look extra sharp and crisp. I love it. So on here, for example, really at this close range like a screen, same as you, not really a big difference. But for Foxay, he's the one looking to try and find some nice, sharp, crisp shots on his way in. Bibu looking to be the challenger here, and Foxay and Laxin, between the two of them, have had a wonderful game when it's come to roams and entries and all the rest of it. Nuez, as I say, really not got himself too involved. Mowgli walking away, the king of entries between these two young gunners.
Yeah, Mowgli definitely seeing things in HD there as he manages to get that opener, take down Nuez. Finka gone. We've seen so many opening kills today onto Finka, Des. There's no real reason or pattern for it. It's just been unfortunate for the attackers that they keep losing that vital operator. You know, we know how valuable she is with the Gon 6, with the nades, with the health boost for the entire team, with the LMG. You know, the positives just keep on coming for the Finka, and the vertical just misses.
Okay?
What happened? Down, finds his man. Absolute beauty onto Mowgli. Can't get the second though as Shinka comes across and picks up the trade with a headshot. 7-6, 3 versus 4. OXG, they are close to taking this one over the line and getting the win.
Shinka's at 13, 14 kills at this point as well.
What
Again, just a
happened?
really
She
solid
got really
game coming
freaked out.
through. For OXG, closing it out here and now, probably advisable. You don't
She
want to go
sat
into
up
the
so
round and
fast,
find
I was like
yourself going
scratching
to a
her
less
chin, she was
desirable
all
defensive
happy.
site, as
And
it
then
would
all of a
be
sudden she
your
just like
second
sat up.
choice. Dream looking to
You
work his way
good?
here around about laundry and supply. You got Foxay coming down big tower stairs. They're going for this multi-point push, but I don't know if it's going to work out because the problem with this is you don't have any trades to play through. There we go.
Oh my god, they're
Right
going
now,
to go
regaining
15
full
rounds.
control of
I had to go to
stairs.
the
Gets a
bathroom.
razor bloom kill onto Dream. He must have run into that one and not realised.
It's too
Leaving
many.
just
It's too many.
Laxin by himself. Bibu gets the close down. 30 rounds across 2 maps, Tim. Who's complaining?
I mean, I hate to say that I predicted it, but I said coming into this one I had a feeling that we were going to see plenty of overtime between these two sides because, I don't know, I just had a feeling that it was the end of the night and we weren't going to be allowed an early finish.
Whew. Okay. I mean, after this as well, I'm pretty sure we'll have the groups revealed very shortly too in terms of who's playing who, but we need to see the epic conclusion of this tale first and foremost. So stick with us. I know many of you are here for the packs, and I'm sure you're collecting those along the way as well. Kids Storm's going to be where this last event takes place. It is the end of our group stages, Tim. There's 3.5 minutes to play, and then we are done until Friday. Tomorrow's going to be a very strange day with no Siege being played, but trust me, you do not want to miss the playoffs on Friday. 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals on Saturday, and a grand final on Sunday. Plus, of course, the reveal of the new season, Tim, on the 21st of August. I'm excited.
I always look forward to that, you know.
Oh, me too.
I never get spoilers of it. I always try and avoid it, because sometimes we need to see it before, you know, depending what's going on with the show. So we sometimes have the opportunity to see it a little bit soon. But yeah, I always avoid it. I always like to just see it along with everybody else, like bang straight
My favourite was in the crowd of SI 2020, because we stayed around after we finished groups to stay and watch the event live, and we sat there, and the whole crowd was going nuts. Remember when they announced the rework of House? And the whole crowd was like, yeah! And I was like, bro, it's a casual map, but people love it. So understandably, it's a staple of the game as well. So lots to look forward to on Sunday and Saturday and Friday. Just, you know, overall a very good weekend if you're a Siege fan.
Newer's going to be on the roam underneath, but heads himself back up to site. It's going to be a Dorm's defense for OXG to try and claim 2 points here. They've got what they need. 1 point is enough, but I'm sure they're just trying to go out with a little bit of a flourish at the end here. And Wolves, well, I've said it before, winning is a habit, and it is a good idea to keep on doing it if you can, especially heading into the playoffs. They are going to have a day off tomorrow, so it does give a little bit of a break to that momentum, but still not a bad idea to keep the winning ways going. Mowgli, he's going to get himself inside of the closet, but there's not much that he can do about it at the minute. Obviously doesn't have any ability to hard breach himself. He will need the support of Shinka in order to do that, but for the time being he's just trying to create a safe platform for the Thermite to move into.
Alrighty, Dream, once again, deadly with that shotgun here. More kind of shooting out drones than he is so much shooting out players right now, but there is plenty of time for that yet, my sweet child. Only 60 seconds in the round, and Mowgli knows there's a man sat in behind the shield. It is indeed the Azami of Foxay who's lurking. Dream with the shotgun. There it is. I keep on speaking about him. He's a Terminator with the shotgun, Tim. Bringing down, again, one of the hottest entries that we have seen today.
Shinka is going to get that wall open, and that's going to give Wolves the access that they need into sight at least, but they're going to need a couple of kills. I've spoken about this site at length before. Dorms is very difficult to break down when there's a lot of men in there. It's like a bit of an onion defense. It's layer after layer after layer that you've got to break through, and even get into that core, you need time to be able to fight your way into, you know, bunk beds, to be able to fight your way into kids' dorms. It's not easy to do, and so you don't want to be running low on manpower, and you don't want to be running low on time, and at the minute Wolves could be struggling on both fronts here because they haven't managed to pick up any kills. Oxygen are playing this really well, keeping themselves off the radar and just not giving anything here. As I say that, I'm awfully sorry.
I tell you what, we've had so many caster curses today, it's ludicrous.
We need to be careful with this power.
Absolutely ludicrous. It is Mowgli going down, so 2 of the big fraggers off the board, at least for the round. Foxay still digging in deep here behind a keeper barrier, just waiting for any kind of probing to come in around this trophy door so he can pop his head up and take a couple of shots. You've still got Dream sat off to his left-hand side. Smoke's coming out on towards the breach. That's great cover, because it lets Foxay get the cross, and now he's up nice and close. Newers finds one, Rise one back. 2 quick kills follow through for Oxygen. They may well have done it, Tim. It may not get them through to playoffs, but it is still 2 points they'll walk away with against the Wolves, unless we see Rise pull off an absolute miracle.
3v1 here as Rise tries to recreate what Shinka did earlier in the game, but he can't even find one. Laxing closes it out, and that is going to be the round and the match for OXG. 2 points secured. It moves them up into 3rd place, gets them out.
I muted. Yeah. So I was saying 30 rounds. Oh yeah, because I went to the bathroom. I forgot. 30 rounds in 3 hours. And Nova is upset. That's a lot, yeah. Like, I mean, that was 15 rounds in 2 games. That was hard. Luckily, they're qualified. I gotta go feed Nova before she starts freaking out. So, I think I was trying to decide if I wanted to play Tarkov after this, but I think I'm just gonna take the rest of the day to work on other stuff. I need to do a lot of work for the, like, Recess YouTube vid and stuff like that. I need to do laundry and things. Tomorrow, Nova has a vet appointment, so I will not be streaming tomorrow because, I gotta take care of her. And Yeah, Friday I'm probably gonna have to wake up pretty early too because I don't know. We don't know what the playoff schedule is gonna be like, so I don't know if the games are gonna be at like 5 a.m. or 2 a.m. or whatever. Because if the Wolves play first, they're gonna be on at 2 a.m. and I don't know if I'm physically gonna be capable of watching that. So we'll see what the schedule looks like. But I'm just gonna take the rest of the day to kind of do some office work stuff, and then Thursday no stream. Friday I will definitely be streaming. It's just whether or not I'm gonna watch the actual playoffs or the quarterfinals. I'm not sure yet. Because it depends on the schedule. Oh, they just posted it? Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient. They did that quickly. Are they first? Are Wolves first? No. Okay, good. Well, they're second. So they're at 1400 CET, which is gonna be like 5 a.m. I think for me. Wait, Hello? 1400 5 a.m. Yep, I was right. Pain. So what's hard about that scheduling is that even if I watch the stream, I have to walk Rhea at like 6. So they're not going to be done with their games when I have to walk her before 7 because otherwise it gets too hot. So there's not really anything I can do about that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I'll try and think about that, but regardless, I won't be streaming for the rest of the day, and then I won't be on tomorrow. So I will see you all on Friday, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a watch party for that or not because it's really fucking early for me. I really hate the EU majors because it's always like 2 a.m., 5 a.m. or whatever for me. So it's just because I'm on the West Coast. It's a 9-hour time difference. Dallas, Captain Dallas, thank you for the 94 months. That is a long time. Calamity Jane, thank you for subbing. Welcome to the Armory. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you all on Friday. Have a really good afternoon. Have a good Thursday, and I'll see you Friday. Bye.